Chapter 304. This disciple of a small sect doesn't know the power of an upper sect emissary. Elder Dong Yang, please forgive this girl for offending you. Rockheart hurriedly stepped forward and said apologetically, Sect Master Rockheart, what are you talking about? What small sect disciple? Am I not a member of the Burning Sky sect now? Tsing Hui said with a smile. Seeing that Ching Su did not seem to be angered, Rockheart let out a sigh of relief. Elder Dong Yang is right. Thank you for your understanding, Elder Dong Yang. Please come in, please come in. After saying that, she secretly glared at Ling Shi. However, Ling Shi did not feel that she had done anything wrong. When she defeated Tsing Hui a year later with the help of the Nanming Primordial Fire, the Purple Cloud Palace would naturally understand who was the genius disciple with the real hope of obtaining the right to comprehend the creation divine jade for the Purple Cloud Palace. Sect Master, the creation grand pageant is about to begin, and it's not easy to condense a divine-grade battle body. Therefore, please take me to the place where I cultivate in seclusion so that I can break through to the prominent divine stage as soon as possible and condense a divine-grade battle body. Only then can I live up to the Palace Master's trust in me. Tsing Hui said, Elder Dong Yang is worthy of being a young talent who has cultivated to such a realm in less than 100 years. It is precisely because of Elder Dong Yang's unwillingness to slack off that you have such achievements and caught the attention of the Palace Master. I originally wanted to hold a banquet to welcome Elder Dong Yang, but now it seems that if I really do so, it will only delay Elder Dong Yang's cultivation. I'll take Elder Dong Yang to the Six Flame Mysterious Fire Formation now. Thank you, Sect Master. Rockheart nodded. After a moment, she seemed to have thought of something and turned to Ling Shi. If you want to break through and condense the Bifang's sacred body, go to the Sacred Flame Cave to cultivate in seclusion. Yes, Sect Master. Ling Shi lowered her head in humiliation and agreed. The Six Blazing Mystic Fire Array was originally a place for her to cultivate. If she wanted to break through to the prominent divine stage and condense the Bifang's sacred ground, she had to borrow the power of the Six Blazing Mystic Fire Array. However, with the arrival of Tsing Hui, he had stolen the place that originally belonged to her. This made her extremely dissatisfied with Tsing Hui. Under Rockheart's lead, Tsing Hui quickly arrived at a basin. The basin had sunk nearly 300 meters into the ground, but because the basin was more than 10 kilometers in diameter, it was not obvious. The entire basin was located above an underground magma stream. Due to the sinkhole in the ground, magma was constantly gushing out from all directions. Magma could even be seen flowing freely on some of the hills. If a mortal were to step into this area, they would definitely be frightened to the point that their legs would go soft from the shock of seeing such a shocking landscape. The reason why our Burning Sky sect is called the Burning Sky sect is because of this special terrain. A lot of magma rushed up to the mountain peak, and at a glance, the magma flames seem to be burning in the sky. That's why we have the name Burning Sky. Rockheart led Tsing Hui into the basin and explained to Tsing Hui with a smile. The name Burning Sky is indeed well-deserved. Tsing Hui nodded. The temperature in this basin was extremely high, probably no lower than 150 degrees Celsius. Ordinary people would not be able to survive here. However, Tsing Hui was a cultivator of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, so he was extremely resistant to heat. If he circulated his stellar energy to protect himself, he would not be injured even if he jumped into the magma. The Burning Sky sect was also a sect that specialized in fire attribute cultivation methods and focused on awakening the bloodline of the sacred beast Bifang. A temperature of 150 degrees Celsius was nothing to her. Under Rockheart's lead, Tsing Hui quickly arrived at the center of the Six Blazing Mystical Fire Array. This formation attracted all the blazing flames in the surroundings to the core of the basin, causing streams of pure earth fire energy to condense around the area. If a fire attribute cultivator refined the fire energy within, the effect produced would not be inferior to refining a fire attribute spirit crystal. It's truly a cultivation paradise. Ching Su saw this and sighed in admiration. The value of this Six Blazing Mystical Fire Array was comparable to the value of the entire Hidden Flame Mountain of the Jinwu religion. It's good that Elder Dong Yang is satisfied. Elder, You can cultivate here for a period of time. There are disciples at the east entrance of the basin at all times. If you need anything, you can ask them to do it. Thank you, Sect Master. Elder, you're too polite. I wish Elder Dong Yang the best of luck in condensing a divine-grade battle body and stepping into the prominent divine stage. Thank you for your kind words, Sect Master. Tsing Hui responded with a smile. After settling the matter, Rockheart cupped his hands at Tsing Hui and left. Tsing Hui went to the platform in the center of the 6 blazing mystical fire array. This platform was more than 10 meters wide and octagonal in shape. There was a crack in the ground at each angle. Flames rose from the cracks, making it seem as if a cultivator was sitting cross-legged on the platform as if they were sitting in a furnace. If they rashly stepped in without sufficient cultivation, they would die. With such an excellent place for cultivation, Tsing Hui did not waste any time and quickly began to adjust his essence, qi, and spirit. While adjusting his essence, qi, and spirit, he also reviewed the method of condensing the Golden Crow battle body recorded in the 6th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. He had already thoroughly comprehended the 6th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. In addition, not long ago, he had gone to the core of the Great Sun in the sky and used the unique environment of the core to peek at the true body of the divine beast, the Golden Crow. As a result, he had a deeper understanding of the Golden Crow battle body. After spending 3 days to adjust his genuine qi and spirit, he did not hesitate to take out the meteorite elixir that he had bought from the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce. He swallowed it and refined his genuine qi with the help of the meteorite elixir. At the same time, he took out the Golden Crow soul essence that he had exchanged from the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. He operated the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, and the pure energy contained in the Golden Crow soul essence and the remnant soul of the Golden Crow were drawn into his body at the same time. Although the remnant soul of the Golden Crow was only a remnant soul, it still contained a great pressure. After it was drawn into Tsing Hui's spirit world, it was as if it had turned into a dazzling sun, blooming with endless light and illuminating his entire spirit world. Endless light and heat continuously spread out from the remnant soul of the Golden Crow, making him feel as if his spirit world was about to melt. Fortunately, as he continued to comprehend the real body of the divine beast Golden Crow, the divine soul of the Golden Crow in his mind was already infinitely close to the real divine soul of the Golden Crow. As the remnant soul of the Golden Crow exuded a dazzling radiance, the divine soul of the Golden Crow that was formed by his spirit world also manifested, constantly swallowing the light and heat. It was as if 2 burning stars had completed the fusion in his body and merged into one, causing the divine soul of the Golden Crow, which was completely under Tsing Hui's control, to become even more dazzling. It was so dazzling that it almost jumped out of the spirit world and manifested in the real world, as if the primordial spirit had left the body. Divine show, divine show. This was the true essence of the divine show realm. However, although Tsing Hui's divine soul of the Golden Crow had been condensed to the point where it almost broke the shackles of the spirit world and manifested in the real world, without the support of enough energy, it was still unable to take the last step and manifest in the form of a divine body. Under such circumstances, the Golden Crow's soul essence contained a similarly vast amount of power, which coincidentally became a crucial step for Tsing Hui to break through the crucial threshold. The power of the Golden Crow's soul essence continued to fill his body, causing the energy in his body to undergo a shocking fission reaction. The vast energy pressure continued to spread from his body. Even the disciples outside the basin could feel it clearly, causing them to tremble in fear. Fortunately, Tsing Hui's body contained the efficacy of the Sunfall Pill. His genuine qi, which had obtained the power of the Golden Crow's soul essence, continued to fission, causing his energy to skyrocket. However, under the influence of the Sunfall Pill's power, it was always maintained in a controllable range. If it weren't for the efficacy of the Sunfall Pill suppressing the power of the Golden Crow's soul essence, it was very likely that his body would explode and he would die on the spot. Endless energy continued to split and accumulate. When the amount reached a shocking density, it finally broke through some kind of limit. In the next moment, the genuine qi in his body surged, directly connecting to his sea of consciousness between his eyebrows. The Golden Crow's divine soul in his sea of consciousness, which had already been condensed to the limit and was about to break through the illusory spiritual world, rushed out of the shackles of the spiritual world under Tsing Hui's control and merged with the genuine qi that had been condensed to the limit. At this moment, the illusory had obtained a medium. At this moment, reality had also obtained the guidance and release of the divine soul's power. Rumble. In the next moment, a golden crow that was burning with endless flames suddenly appeared behind Tsing Hui. The raging flames swallowed a radius of several hundred meters. In the center of the basin, it was as if there was a scorching sun that suddenly rose. Endless light and resplendence instantly filled the space within a radius of several dozen kilometers, causing everyone within several kilometers to be unable to open their eyes. It almost covered the radiance of the sun in the sky. What a terrifying pressure. This pressure seems to originate from the bloodline. Someone has stepped into the prominent divine stage? But, even if he has really stepped into the prominent divine stage, it shouldn't have caused such a huge commotion, right? Fire Origin Qi. The fire origin qi in the air is spontaneously gathering toward the 6 blazing mystic fire array. It's like a subject worshipping their king, as the extremely resplendent light shone in all directions. The 3 ancestors of the Burning Sky sect and the Blue Netherworld realm powerhouses who were sensitive to the origin qi of heaven and earth all looked in the direction of the 6 blazing mystic fire array in horror. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. Sect Master Rockheart of the Burning Sky sect and several true energy realm ancestors, who had a slight understanding of the details, were all moved and gathered together immediately. That Elder Dong Yang, he succeeded? Such a terrifying pressure and the change in the fire yuan qi of heaven and earth. He must have succeeded. He must have taken that crucial step. Moreover, more than 90% of the awakened divine battle physique is awakened. Only a divine battle physique can make me feel such a powerful pressure. Is it really a divine battle physique? But how can it be so fast? It hasn't even been a month since he started his closed-door cultivation. In just a month, he broke through the threshold of the Blue Netherworld realm to the prominent divine stage and condensed a divine battle physique that's rarely seen in the last 1,000 years? Is this Elder Dong Yang from the Purple Cloud Palace really that talented? Does the Purple Cloud Palace value him so much that the palace master personally ordered me to treat Elder Dong Yang well? Rockheart said with a hint of envy in his eyes. On the other hand, Chen Shua glanced regretfully in Ling Shi's direction. She's still a genius disciple that the Purple Cloud Palace has meticulously nurtured. Even though her talent is rare in our Burning Sky sect, compared to a genius disciple nurtured by a supreme sect, she's still far inferior. Although the other elders were unwilling to admit it, they could only nod helplessly when they saw the endless light in the direction of the 6 blazing mystic fire array. The sun was high in the sky, and no moon or stars could be seen. Under the dazzling light of the divine battle physique, all the battle physiques below the divine battle physique paled in comparison. Chapter 305. Please enter the text. Manifest. Manifest divinity. In the Burning Sky sect's holy flame cave, Ling Shi stared blankly at the 6 blazing mysterious fire formation, unable to regain her senses for a moment. 1 year. Didn't you say that it would take 1 year to condense the Golden Crow physique and manifest divinity? Why did it take 1 month? Only 1 month? The huge blow made her, who had always been proud of herself and had never placed the geniuses of the outside world in her eyes, feel disappointed and frustrated. The shock that Tsing Hui, who had originally thought it would take a year, brought to the Burning Sky sect and the Purple Cloud Palace in just 1 month, could be imagined. However, Tsing Hui did not take these sect's reactions to heart. To him, the Fortune Mainland was just a passerby. After obtaining the Fortune Jade, he would directly leave this mainland and return to the Eastern Wasteland. The next time he came to the Fortune Mainland, he would probably be an almighty expert who had derived divine abilities. At that time, he would only have one purpose in coming to the Fortune Mainland, and that was to unify the world. Therefore, he did not need to think too much about these people's attitudes towards him. The power within the Golden Crow's soul essence was far denser than Qing Su had imagined it to be. In particular, he had ingested the Sunfall pill first, which allowed him to unleash the full power of the Golden Crow's soul essence. The fusion of the Golden Crow God Soul and Zhen Qi allowed him to directly break through the threshold of the Vision Divine stage. Condensing the Golden Crow God body was just the beginning. The endless amount of energy was like a tidal wave crashing into his body, causing the Zhen Qi in his body to constantly increase. Adding on his Zhen Qi control at the small success stage of the Zhen Qi Void technique, the amount of time the Golden Crow God body could last was also increasing. Less than half a month after Tsing Hui stepped into the prominent divine stage, the true Qi in his body underwent a new round of fission. Originally, his true Qi was only at the early stage of the prominent divine stage, but now, it rushed to the mid-stage of the prominent divine stage. After reaching the mid-stage of the prominent divine stage, the energy within the Golden Crow's soul essence had naturally dissipated, but a large portion of it still remained in Tsing Hui's body. The energy that had settled in Tsing Hui's body was too pure for Tsing Hui to see with his current spiritual force purity. Even if he had reached the mid-stage of the prominent divine stage, he was unable to extract this energy and turn it into true Qi. Instead, with the passage of time, this true Qi would be wasted. What a pity! If my mental strength could reach level 80, or if my true energy could reach great success, there's a 60% chance that I could use the power of this Golden Crow's soul to directly push my cultivation to the late stage of prominent divine stage. Tsing Hui scanned his spiritual force. The Golden Crow's godly soul had refined the Golden Crow's remnant soul. Coupled with the fusion of the godly soul and the essence Qi, he had refined the Qi into the godly soul. As a result, his spiritual strength had increased by 2 stages, from 73 to 75. However, there were still 5 stages to go before his spiritual strength could reach 80. The effect of the broken sword on my spiritual force has decreased slightly, but it should be able to push my spiritual force to the 80th level. Next, if I want to refine my spiritual force, I will either have to find other opportunities, or find a way to get rid of the solid true Qi-like energy around the broken sword. To the broken sword, that solid energy is like a seal. Once this energy is removed, the sword essence within the broken sword will no longer be suppressed and will be completely drawn out. At that time, the strength of the sword essence will increase by several times, and the effect on my spiritual force will also increase. Tsing Hui quickly understood the situation he was facing. At this time, he vaguely understood why Master Zhangzhen wanted him to focus on refining his spiritual force, as well as why Master Zhu Zhao taught him the method of transforming true Qi into void. The older, the wiser. Zhangzhen Shangren and Zhu Zhao Shangren, who were both at the peak of the Saint Realm, knew better than him what kind of difficulties he would encounter in his following cultivation. If he could temper his mental strength early on, or cultivate the technique of transforming his vital energy into nothingness, he wouldn't have to have any regrets about this closed-door cultivation. Although the remaining power of the Golden Crow's soul in my body cannot be refined into pure true Qi to help me reach the late stage of the prominent divine stage, but it is enough to refine the eternal blazing Sunday. A bright light flashed across Tsing Hui's eyes. The eternal blazing Sunday. This was the most powerful killing weapon in the first 6 stages of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. The main reason why the Jinwu religion could be ranked as one of the 10 great saint sects, and why even the Creation Mysterious sect found it difficult to defeat them, was because of the eternal blazing Sunday. The energy contained in each eternal blazing sun was equivalent to the full force attack of a prominent divine expert. Furthermore, the stronger the cultivator's divine body was, the more powerful the eternal blazing sun would be. The eternal blazing sun was a strategic resource of the Jinwu religion, and it was rarely left outside. However, when some disciples were of noble status and urgently needed protection, and the Jinwu religion could not send enough experts, they would choose to bestow the eternal blazing sun upon them. However, this eternal blazing sun was usually of the lowest quality, and it was mainly refined by cultivators with spiritual-grade divine bodies. Those that were kept in the religion as the ultimate killing weapon were usually refined by cultivators with divine-grade battle bodies. The full force attack of a prominent divine expert when he manifests his divine body. Xing Hui made a rough estimation. Although he had reached the middle stage of the prominent divine stage, the consumption of a divine-grade battle body was much greater than that of a saint-grade battle body. If he did not fill his battle body with the Scarlet Sun True Chi from the Torch Sun Sutra, he could only maintain the Golden Crow battle body for 10 breaths of time. Even if he included the consumption of the Scarlet Sun True Chi, he could only maintain it for 12 to 13 breaths of time. The so-called full force attack was actually equivalent to activating the innate talent of the battle body. For example, the Heavenly Peng Sword Wings and Void Imprisonment of the Hunyuan Heaven Sect's Grand Elder Qingjin's Heavenly Peng Sacred Body, and the soul-dispersing Divine Wind of the Creation Mysterious Sect's Grand Elder Wu Sui's Fialian Sacred Body. There were only 2 innate talents that could be activated by the Golden Crow Divine Body. One was the Great Sun True Fire, and the other was the Eternal Blazing Sun. Both of them were methods to destroy the enemy. Of course, although the Golden Crow Divine Body was equivalent to the Golden Crow Divine Soul manifested in the real world, it was not the resurrection of the Golden Crow. The Great Sun True Fire was still inferior to the Great Sun True Fire, but in terms of power, it could be said to be able to burn all life. If a true energy stage or even a transcendent stage expert did not have the means to avoid fire, they would definitely die if they were directly burned by the Great Sun True Fire. As for the Eternal Blazing Sun, it was the predecessor of the Eternal Blazing Sunday. Its characteristics were similar to the Sword of the Sun that Xing Hui had learned. The difference was that the Sword of the Glorious Sun was a single-target attack. The other targets could only be regarded as shockwaves from the explosion of power at most. On the other hand, the Resplendent Eternity completely erupted the heat and true essence within the user's body in a single moment. It was an area of effect attack. Its power was actually on par with the incomplete Sword of the Glorious Sun from Green Ruins. Indiscriminately killing all the billions of swords of the sun within a radius of 20 kilometers, it was terrifying just thinking about it. If Xing Hui used the Great Sun True Fire when he manifested the Golden Crow Divine Body, he could use it 4 or 5 times. As for the Eternal Blazing Sun, it would dissipate after 1 or 2 times due to the excessive consumption of True Qi. After all, the Great Sun Golden Crow technique is the most ordinary divine scripture. Compared to the superior, first-rate, top, and supreme divine scriptures, its effect is naturally inferior. I don't know if there is a supreme divine scripture in the cultivation of the divine beast Golden Crow, but there must be a first-rate divine scripture. There was once someone who cultivated a first-rate divine scripture and awakened the 4 innate talents of the Golden Crow Divine Body. While Xing Hui was shocked by the innate talents of the Golden Crow Divine Body, he also felt a little regretful. After all, ordinary divine scriptures were inferior to superior and first-rate divine scriptures. After the divine body was condensed, the number of innate talents was the biggest difference. In the prominent divine stage, due to the limited amount of true qi, the number of innate talents didn't reflect the difference. But as one's cultivation continued to increase, reaching the true energy stage, the transformative stage, and even the 3rd level of the saint stage, the difference would gradually widen. After all, if one's talents were too limited, it would be too easy to be targeted and restrained. The Great Sun Golden Crow technique is already 1 step behind others. If I want to catch up with the real top talents, I can only work on the Saint Stage cultivation method. In the Saint Stage, there is a very important stage, which is the Divine Ability Derivation stage. What kind of cultivation method one cultivates and what kind of divine ability one can derive will directly determine the highest achievement of the cultivator in the future. Xing Hui secretly made up his mind. The more he advanced, the more difficult it would be to fight against people of a higher level. Therefore, if he wanted to maintain the advantage in battle strength and fight against people of a higher level, the Divine Ability Derivation stage was very important. This was mainly a problem of the upper limit of the bloodline. Cultivators of the Dire Beast bloodline could only cultivate to the immortality stage. Unless their bloodline mutated, the prominent divine stage was their limit. Some of the more ordinary Dire Beast bloodline cultivators could only cultivate to the Azure Hell stage, Spirit and Chi integration stage, or even spirit refining stage and true chi stage. In other words, in the saint stage, almost 100% of the cultivators of the spirit beast bloodline were cultivators. The upper limit of the dire beast bloodline was the immortality stage, and the spirit beast bloodline also had an upper limit, which was the saint stage. When one reached the saint stage, there would be almost no bloodline cultivators below the saint stage. And when the divine beast bloodline fought against the saint beast bloodline, the advantage was not obvious. Under such circumstances, if he wanted to rely on his bloodline to fight against people of a higher level, it would naturally be futile. For example, in the immortal level, although the cultivator of the spirit beast bloodline had a certain advantage over the cultivator of the ferocious beast bloodline, it was not obvious. Some external factors could easily allow the cultivator of the ferocious beast bloodline to kill the cultivator of the spirit beast bloodline. Focusing his mind, Xing Hui began to condense the eternal blazing sun by continuously excavating the energy of the golden crow's soul essence and using his talent, Eternal Resplendent. The eternal blazing sun condensed by cultivators of the divine grade battle body. As long as the number reached 2 digits, he was confident that he could even kill a transcendent stage expert, let alone a true element stage expert. Chapter 306. 2 months later, 2 pearls appeared in Xing Hui's hands. They emitted an intense aura that made it hard for people to open their eyes. Eternal Blazing Sunday. 2 eternal blazing suns. In these 2 months, Xing Hui had almost squeezed out all the energy from the golden crow's soul essence. Even his own true chi had been depleted once or twice. If we don't consider the possibility of failure, a great sun golden crow technique cultivator at the prominent divine stage can only refine 1 eternal blazing sun in a year. However, the refinement of the eternal blazing sun has an extremely high requirement on mental energy and true chi control. Most prominent divine stage cultivators only have a success rate of less than 20%. In other words, they can only refine 1 eternal blazing sun every 5 to 6 years. Taking into account the age of 200 years when they reach the prominent divine stage, a prominent divine stage cultivator can only refine 30 eternal blazing suns in their lifetime. Adding on the fact that the prominent divine stage cultivator cannot put all their energy into refining the eternal blazing sun, in half the time, they can only refine 15 eternal blazing suns in their lifetime, Xing Hui calculated silently. Only then did he truly understand the value of an eternal blazing Sunday. He finally understood why the Jin Wu religion only bestowed 1 eternal blazing sun to their saintess. And why did Luo Rieo feel such heartache when he exploded 10 eternal blazing sun on his body? The price was too high. Of course, creating an eternal blazing sun in 5 to 6 years was under normal circumstances. Practice makes perfect. Those cultivators who had a good grasp of their own vital energy and had a strong mind naturally had a success rate of more than 20% when refining the eternal blazing Sunday. Some could even reach 30%, 40%, or even 50 to 60%. Furthermore, the biggest problem with creating an eternal blazing sun was the depletion of true chi. If one consumed a lot of true chi recovery pills during this period of time, or if one was born in an area with a high concentration of energy, the creation speed would be greatly reduced. If one could create 3 eternal blazing suns in a year, even if the success rate was only 20%, the creation time would still be reduced to 2 to 3 years. For example, Xing Hui was able to refine 2 eternal blazing suns in 2 months. It was all thanks to the golden crow's soul essence, his 75 mental strength, his 6th level recovery ability, and his vital energy transformation technique. If he could raise his recovery ability to level 10 and cultivate his vital energy to level 80, it would not be difficult for him to maintain the production rate of 1 eternal blazing sun every 2 to 3 months. The forging method of the eternal blazing sun and the innate ability of the golden crow bloodline, Eternal Resplendent, are quite similar to the sword of the glorious sun. Xing Hui recalled every detail of refining the eternal blazing sun over the past 2 months, and his heart skipped a beat. Anyway, there were still 9 months left before the 1-year time limit. Occupying the unique cultivation environment of the 6 blazing mysterious fire formation, He was not in a hurry to end his closed-door training. He immediately devoted all his attention to the enlightenment of the Sword of the Glorious Sun. While comprehending the Sword of the Glorious Sun, he did not forget to cultivate his vital energy transformation technique. At this moment, he truly understood the painstaking efforts of esteemed Zhu Zhao to impart the vital energy transformation technique to him. Naturally, he would not neglect esteemed Zhu Zhao's kind intentions. The degree of effort he put into the vital energy transformation technique was not inferior to that of the Sword of the Glorious Sun. Time passed quickly, and in the blink of an eye, another half a year had passed. Just as Tsing Hui made good progress in his comprehension of the Sword of the Glorious Sun and the vital energy transformation technique, far away in the direction of the sacred flame cave, a majestic aura soared into the sky and turned into a brilliant red light. In the red light, like a rosy sunset, the figure of a Baifeng appeared in the distance. It raised its head to the sky and let out a long cry, setting off waves of flames. Although this momentum could not be compared with Tsing Hui's golden crow battle body, it could still be said to be mighty. The Baifeng was a sacred beast. Condensing the Baifeng battle body was equivalent to condensing a saint-grade battle body, which was naturally stronger than an ordinary spiritual-grade battle body. Tsing Hui looked in that direction a few times, then slowly withdrew his gaze and continued to devote his energy to the vital energy transformation technique and the Sword of the Glorious Sun. He had never been in closed-door training for half a year like this before. During this half a year of silent meditation, his understanding of the method of transforming into virtual energy and the Sword of the Glorious Sun had advanced by leaps and bounds. He even had a faint illusion that when he cultivated the method of transforming into virtual energy to the Deshang level, he would have a new understanding of the control of his own true qi, and the Sword of the Glorious Sun would also break through to the Deshang level. Similarly, if he cultivated the Sword of the Glorious Sun to the advanced level, the efficiency of his vital energy would rise to a new level, and the vital energy transformation technique would also be driven by the improvement of the Sword of the Glorious Sun and enter the advanced level. When the vital energy transformation technique entered the advanced level, there would be no more obstacles in his cultivation before reaching the transformative stage. If the Sword of the Glorious Sun could enter the advanced level, then the lethality of this sword would be enough to pose a fatal threat to experts of the transformative stage. As for ordinary vital energy boundary cultivators, unless they had a ninth-order armor to protect themselves, or they were also talented peerless geniuses who had cultivated the divine-grade vital energy boundary, otherwise, there was no chance of survival in the face of such a sword. After all, it's still a little shorts. If my chaos level could still be improved by one level every 100 days like before, I could put one chaos level into the advanced level, and take advantage of the spark of inspiration that burst out the moment my comprehension level reached the advanced level to cultivate the vital energy transformation technique and the Sword of the Glorious Sun to the advanced levels. Tsing Hui was full of regret. Unfortunately, in the end, he could only shake his head, collect his thoughts, and focus his attention on the vital energy transformation technique. The meditation continued. Half a month later, Tsing Hui, who was meditating on the vital energy transformation technique, suddenly felt something and separated a part of his mind to project into the Chaos Temple. When he came to the personal space of the Chaos Temple, he saw Ling Yu, Lord Zhenhai, Yan Huang, Exin Long, and Nailin Fei waiting anxiously. When they saw Tsing Hui appear, they immediately surrounded him. "Tsing Hui, you're finally here. Alliance Master, something bad has happened." Tsing Hui's eyes swept over them one by one and frowned. "What happened?" Nailin Fei and Lord Zhenhai both looked at Ling Yu at the same time. Ling Yu did not dare to hesitate and hurriedly said, "Create, Evolve, Mysterious Sect." "It's the Create, Evolve, Mysterious Sect." The Create, Evolve, Mysterious Sect has built a medium-sized gate of fortune on the Flying Snow Island in the East Sea. Using the Gate of Fortune on the Flying Snow Island as the foundation, they're building the Gates of Fortune on the Snowfall Island and the Frigid Snow Island at full speed. Once they've completed the 2 Gates of Fortune, the 3 islands will form a triangle and be equipped with both offense and defense. When that time comes, we may not be able to easily drive them out of the East Sea even if we use 10 times our strength. The Create Evolve Mysterious sect has built a gate of fortune in the East Sea? Xing Hui was slightly taken aback. Yes, the Create Evolve Mysterious sect's actions this time completely caught us off guard. No one would have thought that they would make a comeback so quickly after their first failure in the East Sea. The sect master also received the news and handed over many matters in the East Sea to you, Xing Hui. However, such a huge loophole has appeared in the East Sea. The Create Evolve Mysterious sect actually bypassed the encirclement of the Wuji Sword sect and other forces and directly opened up a battlefield in the East Sea. This made them very anxious, and they ordered you to deal with this matter immediately and destroy the Gate of Fortune on the Flying Snow Island. Anxious? Xing Hui could understand the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect's thoughts. Although the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect was an ally of the Wuji Sword sect and was currently in the honeymoon phase of cooperation with the Jin Wu religion, they also viewed the Create Evolve Mysterious sect as their greatest threat. However, although the Create Evolve Mysterious sect could threaten the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect previously, those threats were ultimately far away. With the Wuji Sword sect and the Jin Wu religion as a barrier, the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect did not directly feel the urgency of the impending crisis. However, it was different now. The East Sea region where the Life Moon Alliance was located was the closest to the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect's sea region. The Flying Snow Island was approximately 14,000 kilometers away from Moon Lake Island and only 38,000 kilometers from the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect's inland. If the Create Evolve Mysterious sect wanted to attack the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect, let alone the illustrious Saint Stage experts flying at full speed on their swords, even if they rode a 4th-order Saint Winged Golden Peng or a 5th-order warship, they could still attack the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect's territory in 4 to 5 days. Such a real threat made the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect's people uneasy, which was why they were so anxious. The Create Evolve Mysterious sect has invaded the East Sea on a large scale. I'm afraid it's not as simple as just a fortune gate. There should be supreme elder-level experts guarding it, right? Now that the Fortune Gate has been built, our Life Moon Alliance can't destroy the Fortune Gate on the Flying Snow Island. Won't the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect send reinforcements? The Hunyuan Heavenly Sect has not sent any substantial reinforcements. Moreover, they only want us to destroy the 2 Fortune Gates on the Freezing Snow Island and the Falling Snow Island. As for the Flying Snow Island, it's best if we can destroy it, but if we can't, they won't force us. What about the Wuji Sword sect and the Jin Wu religion? Don't they have any response? I remember that the Golden Blade Island is less than 6,000 kilometers away from the Flying Snow Island. There's not much movement on the Golden Blade Island. There's no movement. Xing Hui pondered for a moment before he said, I'm now in a critical period of my cultivation. In at most 3 months, I will be able to break through and step into the prominent domain stage. At that time, even if the Fortune Gate on the Flying Snow Island is built, I will be able to destroy it with my prominent domain cultivation and Saint Arts. Therefore, the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect will send people to restrain the Fortune Gate on the Freezing Snow Island and the Falling Snow Island. Nalan Fei reminded him, if the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect sends Supreme Elders, your authority in the Life Moon Alliance will be affected. Moreover, it will be difficult to explain to the sect. It's fine. The true foundation of the Life Moon Alliance is the Class 9 Sacred Beast, Hao Ming. The elders of the Life Moon Alliance know this very well. As for the sect, there was a faint sense of pride on Qing Su's face. Once I break through to the illustrious Sage realm and display battle prowess that is no weaker than any true energy realm cultivator, or even enough to threaten transformative realm experts, I believe they won't want our Life Alliance to give them any more explanations. Nalan Fei pondered for a moment before nodding and revealing a smile. That's right. Xing Hui, you are no longer the same as before. You no longer need to listen to the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect. On the contrary, the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect will have to consider your attitude when making decisions. This will become even more obvious when you step into the prominent domain stage. Strength is the foundation. If the Creation Mysterious Gate's Gate of Destinies cannot be stopped, then let them be. Once I exit my seclusion, I will definitely destroy these Gate of Destinies with ease. I will also spit out all the islands that belong to our Life Moon Alliance that they have occupied. Lord Junhai, Ling Yu and the others could feel the confidence in Tsing Hui's tone. They exchanged a glance and felt relieved. If that's the case, then we will wait for the Alliance Master to step into the prominent domain stage, condense a battle body, and conquer the world. Chapter 307. After settling the matters regarding the Fortune Gate, Tsing Hui planned to leave the Primal Chaos Divine Palace once again. Leaving a trace of his consciousness in the Primal Chaos Divine Palace was equivalent to multitasking, which had a great impact on the comprehension of cultivation methods. It was also because of this that he did not know what had happened in the Primal Chaos Divine Palace in the past half a year. As such, he did not have enough time to react, allowing the Fortune Gate to be established on the Flying Snow Island. Just as he was about to leave, a message fell into his hand. Glancing at the message, Tsing Hui's eyes lit up. He quickly stepped into a secret personal space. His appearance suddenly changed greatly. From a mature young man in his 20s, he turned into a dignified old man in his 50s. As he finished changing his appearance, a figure appeared in this secret personal space. It was Sun Qi, the person he had placed in the Chongzhen continent as a chess piece. "Greetings, Senior." Seeing Tsing Hui, Sun Qi immediately bowed respectfully. "Is there something you need from me?" "Senior, I have news about the matter you asked me to investigate." A 25-year-old woman who has awakened the four-eyed bird's bloodline, condensed holy grade Jin Qi, and majored in swordsmanship. Moreover, her cultivation has increased by leaps and bounds in a short period of time. She is the third-ranked direct disciple of the Venerable Heaven sect, Yu Qingyan. Yu Qingyan? Tsing Hui's heart skipped a beat. Yu Tongyu, Yen Tongyan. This name made him believe a little. Tell me more about this Yu Qingyan. Yu Qingyan is a direct disciple who joined the Venerable Heaven sect 3 years ago. Her performance has always been outstanding, but this kind of performance can't be considered top-notch. She has always maintained her position among the top geniuses. A year ago, she condensed holy grade Jin Qi, which caused a small commotion. A month ago, she condensed earth Qi at an extremely fast speed. If it were not for her lack of proficiency in fighting, she would have been qualified to become a direct disciple and become a candidate for the Venerable Heaven sect's deputy sect master. Spirit Refining Realm, Tsing Hui nodded. I'm afraid that this Yu Qingyan did not miss out on the title of the #1 true disciple because she was not proficient in fighting. Rather, it was because she did not want to show off too much. The #1 true disciple was always at the heart of the storm, while the #2 true disciple was always being watched by the #1 true disciple, and even by many other true disciples. Only the #3 true disciple, whose ranking was not low, was a level lower in terms of deterrence. The various pressures from the sect were unable to support her, which gave her enough time to speed up her cultivation and accumulate sufficient strength. But the #1 successor disciple is blessed by the heavens in terms of resources and nurturing. It is far from what the second and third successor disciples can compare to. If she really wants to stand out, I'm afraid, resources? She doesn't lack resources. Tsing Hui's expression turned serious. It seems that I've underestimated this woman's scheming. For such a cautious woman, it would not be easy to find the whereabouts of the Tao-carrying treasures on her, especially if she kept all the Tao-carrying treasures in her personal space. At the crucial moment, she would absorb all the Tao-carrying treasures and transform them into the chaos grade. If that happened, all his efforts would be in vain. It seems like I have to use a different method to deal with her. Smart women often make the right choice. Tsing Hui had a plan in his heart. However, he was currently in the Fortune mainland, which was tens of millions of li away from the Chongzhen continent. He could not return for the time being, so he could only say, "You've done well. I'm currently delayed by some matters and will need a few more months. When I return to the Chongzhen continent, I won't forget to reward you." It is this junior's honor to be able to help senior. This junior does not dare to claim credit. Change the reward, change the punishment. What's yours is yours. This has always been my principle. All right, when I return to the Chongzhen continent, I will inform you. Sun Qi bowed respectfully, This junior will take his leave. As soon as he finished speaking, he disappeared from the personal space. It seems like I have to settle the matter on the Fortune mainland as soon as possible. There are still many things to take care of in the eastern wasteland. Being on the Fortune mainland, which is far from the core of the world, is extremely inconvenient to do anything. Even if I can find that chaos child Yu Yen and ask her about the Tao carrying treasures, I don't dare to send my incarnation down. A third-order incarnation technique expert would be weakened for several years if they sent their incarnation down to the Fortune mainland. Tsing Hui knew that his mental strength was far inferior to those third-order incarnations. Naturally, he did not dare to rashly try. After leaving the Chaos Divine Temple, Tsing Hui once again immersed himself in cultivation. In the blink of an eye, another 2 months had passed. In the past 2 months, Qing Su's understanding of the Sword of the Glorious Sun and the method of condensing true qi into illusions had already reached the limit. However, he was still stuck at the crucial step, unable to break through even after so long. For a moment, he could only sigh and stop cultivating the method of condensing true qi into illusions and the Sword of the Glorious Sun. Instead, he turned his attention to the 2 immortal techniques of casting beans into soldiers and reversing yin and yang. The magic arsenal was a kind of creation technique. It could be enchanted with some special spiritual objects and infused with true qi to turn them into battle soldiers. The strength of the battle soldiers was related to the cultivator's strength, the spiritual object's grade, and the cultivator's understanding of the immortal technique. The reversal of yin and yang was a technique that disturbed the flow of qi. For example, the top sex often had various tracing techniques. Some people could even use some strange treasures to capture the images left behind in the void to deduce what had happened. However, with the reversal of yin and yang, the flow of qi was completely disturbed. No matter how good the method was, it could no longer find any clues. It was said that when this immortal technique was cultivated to the pinnacle, not only could it disturb the flow of qi, it could also disturb space, interfere with the laws, and deceive the mysteries of heaven. Tsing Hui concentrated his mind and soon immersed himself in the comprehension of these 2 immortal techniques, but the efficiency of the comprehension was somewhat unsatisfactory. A month later, Tsing Hui, who had not yet comprehended some superficial knowledge, could not help but frown. At this rate, it would take at least a year or 2 to comprehend these 2 supreme immortal techniques to the point where they could be used at the initial stage. According to the description, these 2 supreme immortal techniques were actually relatively easy to learn. If the easy immortal techniques were like this, then what would the difficult immortal techniques be like? Don't forget, his perception had reached the 5th grade. Although he did not have any elders to guide him when he comprehended these immortal techniques, with his 5th grade perception, it would still take him a year or 2 to comprehend one immortal technique. What about others? No wonder there were many immortal techniques on the Fortune mainland, but most cultivators were already considered outstanding if they could master 1 or 2 immortal techniques. Even those proud sons of heaven who represented the future of their sex would only master 3 or 4 immortal techniques. Supreme immortal techniques are all comprehended from the Fortune Divine Jade. Moreover, it is said that the Fortune Divine Jade has immeasurable benefits for comprehending and cultivating immortal techniques. This is also the reason why so many proud sons of heaven compete for the right to comprehend the Fortune Divine Jade. Although the Fortune Divine Jade on my body is not in an activated state, but if I use this Fortune Divine Jade to comprehend immortal techniques, I wonder what kind of effect it will have. Tsing Hui thought and immediately put his idea into action. He directly injected the immortal art of the magic arsenal casting technique into the Fortune Divine Jade and activated the power of the Fortune Divine Jade to deduce. As expected, as he used the Fortune Divine Jade to comprehend the immortal technique, the Fortune Divine Jade, which was connected to his spirit, immediately derived endless changes and projected them into his spiritual world. This caused his understanding of the magic arsenal technique to increase by leaps and bounds. In less than an incense stick's worth of time, a spark of inspiration flashed in Tsing Hui's mind. He immediately understood the magic arsenal technique and cultivated it. Success! A trace of pleasant surprise flashed in Tsing Hui's eyes. Sure enough, the Fortune Divine Jade really had the ability to help deduce immortal techniques. Moreover, the effect of the assistance was far beyond his imagination. After comprehending the magic arsenal technique, Xing Hui was already able to use some second and third grade spiritual objects to create hundreds of spiritual weapons of the true Qi boundary and spirit refining boundary. The duration was related to the spiritual Qi contained in the spiritual objects. As for creating spirit Qi unity boundary, green netherworld boundary, and prominent divine boundary experts, although Xing Hui could barely do it, the requirements for spiritual objects had to be at least 6th grade, 8th grade, and 10th grade spiritual objects. The so-called spiritual objects usually referred to natural treasures with strong spirituality. Although a 10th grade natural treasure's value could not be compared to a 10th grade divine weapon, it had reached the level of a 9th grade divine weapon. Even if Xing Hui bought it from the Milky Way Chamber of Commerce, he estimated that he would need 3 or 4 Dao ripples. If he wanted to create Spirit Qi Unity Boundary, Green Netherworld Boundary, and prominent divine boundary spirit weapons at a lower price, he had cultivated the magic arsenal technique to the small success stage. Xing Hui's eyes became slightly hot. This immortal art was truly extraordinary. If he could cultivate it to the initial success stage, he would be able to use rank 6 spiritual items to create rank 6 spiritual weapons. Even if these spiritual weapons did not possess any killing methods or weapons and were slightly inferior to a true prominent divine stage expert, they could still be considered as an extremely terrifying combat strength. Think about it. If hundreds of 6th grade spiritual weapons swarmed together, in the entire Eastern Wilderness, other than the Creation Mystical Sect and the Limitless Sword Sect, who could resist them? By then, he alone would be a great sage sect. As he thought about it, Xing Hui could not wait to delve into the study of the magic arsenal technique. However, at that moment, the Creation Divine Jade's original divine light completely dimmed. The mysterious feeling of continuing to deduce the magic arsenal technique had also completely disappeared, causing Xing Hui to frown. Looking at the dim Creation Divine Jade, Xing Hui's heart skipped a beat as if he had thought of something. Could it be Dao ripples? However, he was worried again in the next second. Although he still had a few items that carried Dao, the Creation Divine Jade had already fused with his spiritual world. He did not know how to draw out the Dao ripples from these items and inject them into the Creation Divine Jade. I can only wait until tomorrow, Xing Hui muttered to himself. At the same time, to prevent the Chaos Divine Jade from dropping to the 29th grade because he could not absorb the Dao ripples from the Creation Divine Jade, he had to use 2 Dao ripples to replenish his Chaos Divine Palace interface. Next, he just had to wait quietly. However, the result of the wait made Xing Hui feel a little apprehensive. Not 1 day but 3 days. It was not until 3 days later that the Creation Divine Jade regained its luster. When he could use the Creation Divine Jade to continue comprehending the magic arsenal technique, it was 4 days later. Qing Su had no choice but to stop comprehending the soldiers of magic arsenal when he looked at the scant amount of treasures he had on him. Dao ripples. Chapter 308. A month later, Rockheart, Qin Shuo, Wang Ke, and the elder of the Purple Cloud Palace, perfected cultivator Zaheo, arrived outside the array. As Rockheart controlled the array, a wave of energy spread out from the array and reached the center of the array where Xing Hui was. This wave contained a strange power. It could awaken others from their closed-door cultivation, but it would not affect the cultivator who was in closed-door cultivation. Is the Grand Creation Festival about to begin? Xing Hui opened his eyes. He had been waiting for this moment for a long time. I wonder what kind of miraculous things will happen after I obtain that piece of Fortune Divine Jade and fuse it with the Fortune Divine Jade I have. Xing Hui thought to himself. He dusted himself off, stood up, and walked out of the 6 blazing mystic fire array. Outside the array, seeing Xing Hui step out of the fire, several people came up to him. Perfected cultivator Zaheo, who knew that Xing Hui had cultivated the divine grade golden crow physique, smiled even more warmly than before. Dong Yang, you've finally come out of seclusion. Congratulations on cultivating the golden crow physique. With this physique, as long as you don't encounter cultivators who can restrain you or cultivators who are good at defense, You'll be invincible among your peers in the prominent divine grade. Even us true energy realm old fellows don't dare to face the power of a divine grade battle physique head-on. You flatter me, Elder Zaheo. I'm just a prominent divine grade cultivator. How can I be compared to a saint-like perfected cultivator Zaheo? Tsing Hui said modestly. The power of a divine grade battle physique is so powerful that even saints of transcendent realm of saint second grade wouldn't dare to face it head-on, let alone saints of first grade. They would have to stall for time, so Elder Dong Yang, there's no need to belittle yourself. If nothing goes wrong, Elder Dong Yang will definitely be one of the top 10 in this grand creation festival. Chen Shuo agreed with a smile. The other few people also had a look of deep agreement. Has the Grand Creation Festival begun? Tsing Hui turned to look at Sect Master Rockheart and Reverend Zaheo. The Fortune Grand Banquet will officially begin in 10 days. Since the Fortune Divine Jade is being kept by the Great Sun Divine Palace, the location of the banquet is the Great Sun Divine Palace's branch in the Central Plains, which is not far from here. On the day of the banquet, many sects experts and geniuses will rush over from all directions. This Fortune Grand Banquet is also the grandest banquet on the Fortune mainland. Tsing Hui nodded. When are we leaving? The Burning Heaven sect is 3 days away from the Great Sun Divine Palace. However, it's best if we arrive 2 or 3 days earlier so that I can tell you who is a threat in this year's good fortune gathering. Thus, you cultivate for a few days and we will officially depart 4 days later. All right. Immediately, Tsing Hui was led by Rockheart, Sage Zaheo, Chen Shuo, and the others into the Burning Sky sect. However, before they arrived at the Burning Sky sect's main hall, a majestic aura rolled over from the Holy Flame Cave's direction, pressing down on Tsing Hui. The aura was filled with provocation. Guest Elder Dong Yang, you haven't forgotten our agreement, right? Ling Shi's voice pierced through the air, reverberating in the open space. This is... Sage Zaheo looked at Rockheart with a trace of scrutiny in his eyes. Rockheart hurriedly explained the agreement between Ling Shi and Tsing Hui. In the end, she smiled wryly and said, I've already told Ling Shi not to be presumptuous in front of the sect's envoys. Who would have thought that she would still be so obstinate? Rest assured, Elder Zaheo, I will definitely punish her severely when the time comes and let her understand the meaning of seniority. Sage Zaheo did not say anything. Instead, he turned to Tsing Hui and asked, Dong Yang, how do you think we should deal with this matter? Tsing Hui glanced at the calm Sage Zaheo. He vaguely understood that Sage Zaheo had already known that such an accident would happen. The reason why he did not stop him and even asked him was probably because he wanted to see the authenticity of the divine grade Golden Crow combat body with his own eyes. He did not want to waste a precious opportunity when the Fortune Grand Banquet arrived. Since I have an agreement with young Lord Ling Shi, I will fulfill it. As Tsing Hui spoke, his eyes fell on Ling Shi, who was descending from the void. Good, Elder Dong Yang is indeed worthy of being an envoy of the sect. You are a man of your word. This is not the place to fight. How about we go to the Heaven Abandonment Valley to fight? As the host, as the guest. Tsing Hui gestured with his hand. Alright, since the two of you insist on fighting it out, we will not force you. However, both of you are the pride of the Purple Cloud Palace. Any injuries will be a loss to the Purple Cloud Palace. Therefore, I hope that both of you will know when to stop. Sage Zaheo said solemnly. Of course. Don't worry, Elder. I know what to do. The two of them replied at the same time. Immediately, Reverend Zaheo, Rockheart, Chen Shuo, Wang Ke, and even the other 2 true energy elders of the Burning Sky sect walked out as well. They followed Qing Su and Ling Shi to the Heaven Abandonment Valley. With the 4 Saint Stage experts around, even if an accident happened, they would be able to set things right immediately. Soon, the group arrived at the Heaven Abandonment Valley. The Heaven Abandonment Valley was a completely deserted valley filled with boiling lava. Not to mention mortals, even Immortality Realm experts would find it difficult to survive here if they did not have a high enough cultivation base. Fortunately, Chen Shuo, Rockheart, Zaheo, and Wang Ke were not weak. Otherwise, they would not even be qualified to watch the battle. What weapon do you use? Ling Shi looked at Tsing Hui and stood on her sword. She had a serious expression on her face. Although Blue Netherworld realm experts could fly, their speed was much slower than flying on swords. Therefore, they usually stood on their swords when they fought in the air. When I obtained the Primal Chaos Inheritance, I obtained several divine weapons by chance. Young Sect Master Ling Shi, you can attack as much as you want. When I need to use these divine weapons, I will naturally use them. Tsing Hui said calmly. Okay, then don't blame me. Ling Shi's expression turned cold. In the next moment, a flag flickering with raging flames appeared in her hand. It was the Burning Sky Sect's powerful secret treasure, the 6 flames flowing light flag. Because the Fortune mainland rarely traded with the Heaven Wasteland world, the quality of divine weapons was generally not high. Even a prominent Saint Stage expert of the 6 supreme sects could be considered rich if he possessed a 7th grade divine weapon. However, while they were lacking in divine weapons, they had all kinds of strange secret treasures. Some of these secret treasures were more terrifying than high-grade divine weapons. Be careful, my Nanming Primordial Fire is no joke. Ling Shi shouted. In the next moment, a phantom of a Baifeng appeared behind her. When the Baifeng appeared, it spread its wings and an endless blazing power swept out, forming a huge flame vortex that burned the void. A Saint-grade battle physique, the Burning Sky Sect has a successor. Spiritual Master Zi Hao praised from the bottom of his heart as he looked at the battle constitution that Ling Shi had manifested. There was a trace of a smile on Rockheart's face. This girl has put in a lot of effort to condense a Saint-grade battle physique. Now, she has finally gotten what she wanted. Our Burning Sky Sect's support for her all these years has not been in vain. Spiritual Master Zihao nodded, but his gaze shifted to Tsing Hui. And Tsing Hui. He did not disappoint Spiritual Master Zihao. Caw! Accompanied by a long cry, the Golden Crow's sacred body suddenly appeared behind Tsing Hui. A huge golden crow with a diameter of nearly 100 meters spread its wings and soared in the sky. Endless light and heat radiated from its body, almost blinding everyone. The moment the Golden Crow's sacred body appeared, the dense fire origin energy that was originally hovering above the Baifeng's sacred body quickly gathered toward the Golden Crow combat physique as if it was meeting its king, causing the power of the Golden Crow combat physique to increase by another level. Good. A divine-grade battle physique, as expected of a divine-grade Golden Crow combat physique. Amazing, Dong Yang is amazing. He can reach this level with just a chaos inheritance. He is a true peerless genius that only appears once in 1,000 years. Spiritual Master Zihao could not help but be pleasantly surprised when he saw the Golden Crow combat physique that was emitting endless light like the sun rising from the east. The Golden Crow combat physique. Is this the Golden Crow combat physique? What a terrifying power. The Fire Crow bloodline that I cultivate is actually trembling in front of the Golden Crow combat physique. I can't even use 60% of my power. It is truly worthy of being called the Emperor of Fire, the Divine Beast of Fire. Ling Shi's Baifeng's sacred body is completely suppressed by Elder Dong Yang's Golden Crow's sacred body. When a fire-attributed Saint-grade beast encounters a fire-attributed divine beast, it has already lost half of the battle. We can only pin our hopes on the 6-flame black light flag. The flag contains a trace of Nanming Primordial Fire. Only with this trace of Nanming Primordial Fire can Ling Shi have a chance to turn the tables. Several prominent divine stage experts of the Burning Sky Sect were also shocked. They were slightly pessimistic about the result of Ling Shi's battle. Ling Shi clearly understood that her Baifeng's sacred body was suppressed by Tsing Hui's Golden Crow's sacred body. Fortunately, although a divine beast could suppress a saint-grade beast, this suppression was not strong enough to make people lose the hope of challenging it. As Ling Shi shook the 6-flame black light flag in her hand, a blazing flame power was injected into the Baifeng's sacred body. Suddenly, the Baifeng's shadow, which had weakened a little, suddenly soared. An even more terrifying and blazing aura swept out from its body. I will let the elders of the Purple Cloud Palace understand who is the real heaven's favored daughter of the Burning Sky Sect. Fire of Disaster. As Ling Shi waved the flag in her hand, The Baifang's sacred body roared and exploded into blazing flames that spanned thousands of meters. Each flame was a miniature version of the Baifang. The thousands of miniature Baifangs were like a dense meteor shower, crazily bombarding Tsinghui. The terrifying and mighty heat swept through the world, almost burning the void. What a treasure! Tsinghui glanced at the six-flame black light flag in Ling Shi's hand. It was impossible for the Baifang's sacred body to have such power. However, with the help of the six-flame black light flag, the divine-grade combat body could erupt with power that was not inferior to a divine-grade combat body. But that was all. With a thought from Qing Su, the colossal figure of the Golden Crow had already rushed into the air in the next moment. Like a meteor shooting through space, it slammed into the meteor shower of countless miniature Baifangs viciously. Its colossal body and sharp claws grabbed several dozen miniature Baifangs viciously before smashing them together. In the moment the several dozen miniature Baifangs collided, the Golden Crow used a method that was almost eternal and resplendent, directly detonating the power within the miniature Baifangs through a fission reaction. Boom! Violent and continuous explosions resounded through the void in an instant. Countless small Baifangs were detonated at the same time. The explosions connected together and formed an even more terrifying chain of explosions. For a moment, dazzling flames kept rising. It was as if countless scorching suns had suddenly appeared in the void. All the colors in the world paled in comparison to this radiance. Chapter 309. The energy contained in the small Baifangs was collided and detonated by Tsinghui. Blazing flames filled the void, turning the area dozens of kilometers above heaven-abandoned valley into a purgatory of destruction. While constantly destroying these small Baifangs, Tsinghui's realm, which was only half a step away from the sword of the glorious sun, was also constantly loosening in the process of fission. Countless inspirations began to surge into his mind. The sword of the glory of the sun simulates the eruption of the sun, and uses a part of the power to strike out 3 times, 4 times, even 9 times or 10 times. Because the power contained in this strike is too terrifying, even Sword Master Bai Heng, who created the sword of the glory of the sun, could not make this power precise to every detail. He could only blast it out. In this way, the power is great, but after this strike, it will completely exhaust one's real qi. Tsinghui freely shuttled back and forth under the bombardment of countless small Baifangs. Originally, he had enough power to tear apart the meteor-like attacks formed by countless small Baifangs. As he tore apart this circle of attacks, he could even use the Golden Crow battle form to directly attack Ling Shi and use the true sunfire to burn her Baifang's sacred body to ashes in an instant and further injure Ling Shi. However, in the process of continuously detonating these small Baifangs, he faintly touched the opportunity to achieve the sword of the glorious sun. He threw the thought of winning the battle to the back of his mind, and constantly comprehended the sword of the glorious sun, which was only one step away from achieving the sword of the glorious sun. Even so, the sight of Qing Su's Golden Crow battle form rampaging through the countless miniature Baifangs created from the Baifang battle forms still shocked everyone from the Burning Sky sect and Purple Cloud Palace from the bottom of their hearts. Is this the terror of the Golden Crow battle form? After being strengthened by the 6-flame black light flag, the Baifang's sacred body is not much inferior to an ordinary divine-grade battle form, but it can't do anything to Master Dong Yang's Golden Crow battle form. The Baifang's sacred body is obviously on the verge of defeat and is suppressed to the point that it has no chance to breathe. No matter how many small Baifangs it creates, it can't escape the fate of being caught and destroyed by the Golden Crow battle form. It would be fine if the Golden Crow battle form simply caught those small Baifangs and destroyed them. I don't know what means Elder Dong Yang used, but when those small Baifangs collided with each other, they caused an explosion that far exceeded the limit of their strength. It also caused a large-scale explosion, so a large area would explode. Without this means, Ling Shi might be able to entangle the Golden Crow battle form with the power of the 6-flame black light flag and exhaust all the power of the Golden Crow battle form. She might even be able to win in the end, but now. It's not that Ling Shi's, Baifang's sacred body, is too weak. With the combat strength that Ling Shi has shown this time, she might have a chance to compete for the qualification to comprehend the Fortune Jade if she participates in the Creation Grand Gathering. However, compared to Elder Dong Yang, she is still inferior. Elder Dong Yang's Golden Crow battle form is too strong. The explosive power formed by constantly destroying the small Baifangs frightened even me, a saint cultivator. If I were to be caught in the center of that explosive power without using the fire-repelling pearl, I would be seriously injured even if I didn't die. Spiritual Master Zihao, Elder Chen Shura, and the other two true element realm ancestors of the Burning Sky sect were all amazed. At the same time, they felt that each new generation was surpassing the previous one. There was not much difference between the prominent divine stage and the true element realm. In the true element realm, genuine qi could be transformed into true essence at best, which could support the battle form for a longer time. If the consumption of genuine qi was ignored, the prominent divine stage and the true element realm could even be regarded as the same stage. In this case, Xing Hui and Ling Shi, one with a divine grade battle form and the other with a saint grade battle form, had a strong impact on them. Sun glory! Sun glory! Sun glory! All kinds of ideas flashed in Xing Hui's mind as he tried to understand the real mystery of the Sword of the Sun Glory. The Sword of the Sun Glory was a terrifying attack produced by the continuous fission of energy. As long as he could understand the mystery of fission, the Sword of the Sun Glory would definitely be able to break through to the advanced level. Wait a minute. Fission. Just as Xing Hui faintly felt that his genuine qi was being consumed rapidly and that his Golden Crow battle form was about to be unable to maintain, a light suddenly flashed in his mind. Fission? The Sword of the Sun Glory was created by simulating the fission of the sun. If he could master fission and understand the mystery of fission, his Sword of the Sun Glory would be able to reach the advanced level. However, the real explosion of the sun was not fission, but fusion. Compared to fission, fusion produced a greater effect and power, which could be seen from the power of atomic bombs and hydrogen bombs on Earth. Fission created an atomic bomb, while fusion created a hydrogen bomb that could be said to be a world-destroying weapon. In particular, there was controllable nuclear fusion above fusion. If the power of controllable nuclear fusion could be perfectly utilized, the fusion power would constantly generate a chain reaction that would never end. The power that could be unleashed in the end would be many times stronger than a fission attack. Mastering controllable nuclear fusion was equivalent to mastering the power of the artificial sun. If Xing Hui could understand the mystery of it, he might be able to transform into the real Golden Crow, which would allow him to dominate the divine stage. Wrong. Sword Master Bai Heng was wrong. Sword Master Bai Heng's Sword of the Glorious Sun is dedicated to simulating the explosion of the sun to form a world-destroying blow, thus creating this kind of Sword of the Glorious Sun through fission. However, the real sun is formed by a continuous fusion reaction. Sword Master Bai Heng simulates the fusion of the sun in the form of energy fission. No wonder no matter how she perfected the Sword of the Glorious Sun, this Sword of the Glorious Sun can only be regarded as a secret technique, which only has the power of one blow, and cannot be called a systematic cultivation method. Fission, fusion, controllable fusion. That's the path I need to take next. That's the direction of cultivation in the Saint Realm. If I even get the direction wrong, then how can I cultivate an invincible cultivation technique? How can I create a sword technique that's capable of destroying the world? Xing Hui let out a long cry, and the Golden Crow shadow immediately let out a loud cry. Countless small Baifangs exploded before they could even get close to its body. With a boom, waves of flames rose continuously in the void like mushroom clouds, tearing all the clouds within a radius of dozens of kilometers into pieces. Fission. Disregarding the fission that simulated the elements of the sun. At this moment, countless memories that had been sealed for a long time emerged in Xing Hui's mind. The information about fission that he had learned from textbooks, the internet, the news, and military books on Earth crazily gathered in his mind. Furthermore, under the high level of comprehension of the fifth step, it merged with his understanding of the Golden Crow battle body and the Golden Crow Zhen Qi. When an atomic nucleus with a large mass splits into two atomic nuclei with a small mass, an enormous amount of energy will be released during this process. This was fission. It was simple and clear at a glance. In the next moment, countless pieces of information gathered and summarized, colliding into an earth-shattering spark of inspiration. This spark of inspiration was like a real atomic bomb exploding in Tsing Hui's mind. In the center of his mind, a mushroom cloud rose up like a pillar supporting the sky. A circular wave of air tore through the clouds and swept across the area. Intense vibrations, light, and heat filled the entire mind. Brilliant sun. Following Tsing Hui's involuntary attack, the void that was originally filled with a chain of explosions suddenly surged with an unprecedented berserk power. This power was so strong that it directly broke the limits of the Saint Realm's understanding of the power of a prominent Saint Realm expert. In an instant, the void within a radius of tens of kilometers was completely submerged. Endless light and heat erupted at the same time. Not good. This is... Careful. The various Saint Realm elders who were originally watching the battle from the side and were shocked by the power between Tsing Hui and Ling Shi sensed the terrifying power that erupted from Tsing Hui's hand. They were immediately shocked and revealed their saint physique, charging towards Ling Shi as fast as they could. Flame fan. Fire warding bead. Open for me. All kinds of strange treasures appeared in the hands of the various true energy boundary elders, trying in vain to resist the explosive power or divert it into the void. However, true energy boundary elders did not have any advantage in front of prominent Saint Realm experts. It was just that their Zhenqi was more vigorous and their strength was longer. In front of Tsing Hui's brilliant sun sword that had just reached the great success stage, they were simply unable to resist it. The flame fan only managed to divert the blazing destructive power for a moment before the surging heat sent them flying. The elder with the fire-warding bead shuttled back and forth in the flames for a moment before he was immediately sent flying by the shock wave. As for the remaining two true energy boundary elders, they were not much better off. However, the efforts of the four true energy boundary powerhouses were not in vain. They had finally managed to bring Ling Shi out of the area of destruction before the destructive force could completely engulf her, allowing her to escape with the fastest speed possible, allowing her to escape with her life. Rumble. The energy ripples formed by the explosive power spread out in all directions. The heaven-abandoned valley, which was filled with flames and lava, was completely destroyed. An even more violent eruption of lava seemed to have caused the earth veins to become chaotic. Rumbling earthquakes spread out with the heaven-abandoned valley as the center, affecting the entire burning heaven sect. In an instant, countless porcelain and glass products in the burning heaven sect were destroyed. This kind of power is too terrifying. A transcendent realm expert's control over their own power has reached the pinnacle. They can condense their own power into one and pour it out in torrents. The power of this attack is probably not much inferior to a transcendent realm expert's all-out attack, right? Is the power of a divine-grade battle physique really so powerful? If I was in the center of that explosive power, even with a fire-warding bead, my chances of survival would be less than 1 in 10. Is this still the prominent Saint Realm? The true energy boundary elders were dumbfounded as they looked at the destructive power of Tsing Hui's attack. They were unable to recover for a long time. As for Ling Shi, who had the courage to challenge Tsing Hui, she was so frightened by the destructive power of this attack that her pretty face turned pale. She looked at Tsing Hui as if she was looking at a demon. Her eyes were filled with fear as her hands and feet trembled incessantly. A genius with a boundless future, she was scared out of her wits. Chapter 310. Sun Glory. Tsing Hui's eyes flickered. Then he saw the mess in heaven-abandoned valley. Even though he had seen the mess caused by a nuclear explosion in movies, he still could not help but change his expression. Ling Shi is not dead, is she? Qing Su raised his head and looked over. When he saw Ling Shi looking at him with a frightened expression from over 10 kilometers away, he breathed a sigh of relief. It was good that he didn't die. If he died, he really didn't know how to face the people of the Burning Sky sect. After all, The Burning Sky Sect's sect master and elders were quite good to him. However, because he didn't restrain his strength during a spar, he killed the young sect master whom they had high hopes for. That would be embarrassing. With a leap, Ching Su arrived beside Rockheart, Chen Shua, Reverend Zaheo, and so on very soon. I'm sorry. I had just comprehended the innate ability of the Golden Crow battle body, so I used it involuntarily. As a result, I failed to control my strength properly, which almost led to a disaster. Thank goodness you elders acted in time. It's all right. If you want to blame someone, you can only blame Lingxi for overestimating herself. How dare she challenge the authority of Elder Dong Yang? Today's incident will teach her a lesson and let her understand that there is always someone better out there. Rockheart naturally did not dare to accuse Ching Su of anything in front of Reverend Zaheo. Moreover, it was just as she had said. She had brought this upon herself. If she had not gone to provoke Dong Yang, she would not have almost died. Elder Dong Yang's Golden Crow combat body is so powerful that it is an eye-opener for us. No wonder a divine-grade combat body only appears once in 1,000 years. If such powerful strength can be cultivated so easily, how can we, true energy realm cultivators, endure? Based on the strength that Elder Dong Yang displayed in the battle just now, one of the spots to comprehend the Fortune Divine Jade at the Fortune Grand Banquet is likely to be yours. Let's just wait for Elder Dong Yang to represent the Burning Sky Sect and display his might at the Fortune Grand Banquet. Spiritual Master Zaheo said with a smile. I will do my best and will not disappoint the Sect Master, the Palace Master, and the Elders of the Purple Cloud Palace. We look forward to seeing your performance. Reverend Zaheo smiled. Dong Yang, the good fortune pageant is about to begin. You should rest for a day or two. When the time comes, we will set off for the Great Sun Divine Palace. Because you are representing the Burning Sky Sect, it is inappropriate for me and the Palace Lord to travel with you. When the time comes, you can go with Sect Master Heartcliff. If there is anything, just send Wang Ke to find me. I understand. All right. Then, we'll catch up after the Grand Creation Banquet is over. Xing Hui nodded slightly. Who knew what would happen after the fortune pageant ended? Sect Master Heartcliff, I'll leave Elder Dong Yang in your care. I hope you can keep him in good condition during the Fortune Fest. Don't let anything happen to him. Reverend Zaheo turned to Rockheart and instructed him in a serious tone. Don't worry, Taoist. The Fortune Banquet this time isn't just crucial to the Purple Cloud Palace. It's also a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for our Burning Heaven sect. If our Burning Heaven sect can make an appearance at the Fortune Banquet this time and obtain one of the 10 right to comprehend the Fortune Jade, it'll be much easier for our Burning Heaven sect to recruit Sons of Chaos in the future. Just based on that, we'll definitely ensure Elder Dong Yang's safety. Before Heartcliff could speak, Chen Shua, the Burning Sky sect's ancestor, had already made a solemn vow. Alright, I naturally trust the Burning Sky sect. After Reverend Zaheo finished his words, he did not stay any longer and immediately turned to leave. Heartcliff and the others brought Xing Hui back to the Burning Sky sect. After resting for a day, the Burning Sky sect piloted a warship and headed straight for the Great Sun Divine Palace. In order to ensure Xing Hui's safety, 2 of the Burning Sky sect's 3 true energy boundary ancestors moved out at the same time. Apart from leaving one person to guard the sect as a precaution, it could be said that they had turned out in full force. As for the prominent divine stage Great Elders, they had also sent most of them. Apart from the true energy boundary ancestors and the Great Elders, Lingxi was also in the group. In Heartcliff's words, they were bringing her to the fortune gathering to broaden her horizons. Lingxi was only 81 years old this year. If the next fortune gathering was to be held within 19 years, she might have the opportunity to participate again. In this way, the experience of this fortune gathering would be extremely important. The warship broke through the clouds as it slowly advanced towards the Great Sun Divine Palace. Because the Fortune Grand Banquet was one of the biggest banquets on the Fortune mainland, when the Burning Sky sect's battleships neared the Great Sun Divine Palace, the surrounding atmosphere became livelier. When the Burning Sky sect's battleships arrived at the Great Sun Divine Palace, they saw large battleships shuttling to and fro around the Great Sun Divine Palace's skyscrapers, entering the Great Sun Divine Palace's interior. Even though the Fortune Mainland style belonged to fantasy, the scene in front of them gave Ching Su a strong feeling of science fiction. The Great Sun Divine Palace was like a bustling starry port. Countless warships from all over the universe were shuttling back and forth, carrying out daily necessities. Unlike the Purple Firmament Palace, the forces that the Great Sun Divine Palace left behind in the Central Plains aren't weak. It's said that they have a third-layer Saint Realm expert with endless true energy personally overseeing the situation. Moreover, as the Great Sun Divine Palace is the host of the Grand Assembly of Good Fortune this time around, the headquarters of the Great Sun Divine Palace has sent many experts. According to preliminary estimates, there are probably several tens of Endless Realm experts, and it's enough to completely surround the Great Sun Divine Palace. Heartcliff looked at the bustling Great Sun Divine Palace in front of him and praised sincerely. Several dozen? When Tsing Hui heard the number from Heartcliff's mouth, he couldn't help but be stunned. There are actually so many Endless Realm experts in the Great Sun Divine Palace? If I remember correctly, the Purple Firmament Palace only has 10 to 20 Transformative Realm experts. The Endless Realm is different from the Transformative Realm. The Supreme Sects have the method to refine the Golden Immortal Pill. As long as there is enough True Yuan to maintain the Golden Immortal Pill, it can extend one's lifespan for 3,000 years. However, although True Yuan and Transformative Realm experts have True Yuan in their bodies, they are unable to sustain the consumption of the Golden Immortal Pill. Unless there are many heavenly treasures in their bodies, they can only extend their lifespan by 3,000 years. Otherwise, when they reach the age of 400 or 500, they will be unable to avoid the fate of dying. However, Endless Realm experts are different. The True Yuan in their bodies has already reached the point where it can circulate endlessly. As long as they engage in an intense battle and expend a large amount of True Yuan, they can maintain the existence of the Golden Immortal Pill, extending their lifespan to 3,000 years. After listening to Heartcliff's introduction, Tsing Hui felt as if his horizons had been broadened. The Fortune Mainland's fake Golden Immortal Pill technique might not be comparable to the Golden Immortal Pill, but as long as there were enough heavenly treasures, it could actually allow True Yuan, Transformative Realm, and Endless Realm experts to break through the limits of their lifespan. True Yuan, Transformative Realm, and Endless Realm experts who could only live for 400 to 500 years could live for 2,000 to 3,000 years. The value of such a secret technique was not necessarily inferior to that of some first-class divine scriptures. After all, to the descendants of those almighty existences, top-tier natural treasures that could replenish their origin energy were nothing. In fact, as long as the high-grade Sons of Chaos raised their recovery ability to the 6th or 7th order, their origin energy might not necessarily be unable to replenish their origin energy without end. As the battleship sailed into the Great Sun Divine Palace, Tsing Hui finally understood the true foundation of the Fortune Mainland. Even though the Fortune Mainland was many times more remote than the Eastern Wasteland, and the Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi on the mainland was less than half of the Eastern Wasteland, the Fortune Mainland had relied on the numerous immortal techniques comprehended from the Fortune Divine Jade to develop to the level of a peak mid-sized mainland. This was because the Fortune Divine Jade had only appeared for a few thousand years. If it continued to develop, in another few thousand years, or even 10,000 years, the Fortune Mainland had the hope of developing into a large mainland with more than 10 supreme existences overseeing it. At that time, no matter how remote the Fortune Mainland was and how few Sons of Chaos there were, it would still attract the attention of many supreme existences in the Heaven Wasteland world. Fortunately, all the Tao treasures produced in the Fortune Mainland have been squandered on the Fortune Divine Jade. Otherwise, even though the Fortune Mainland and Heaven Wasteland world are so far apart, the number and power of the Sons of Chaos wouldn't have remained so low. Moreover, the more the Sons of Chaos increase, the more active they become in the Chaos Divine Palace. Naturally, the secrets of the Fortune Mainland would be easily leaked. If a supreme existence became curious and directly teleported to the Fortune Mainland, the people of the Fortune Mainland might not be able to keep the Fortune Divine Jade. Xing Hui secretly rejoiced in his heart. Under the lead of a prominent sage realm expert of the Great Sun Divine Palace, the Burning Sky Sect's people were arranged to stay in a small courtyard. Even though the Burning Sky Sect was a first-rate sect, because it was completely supported by the Purple Firmament Palace, it was in existence at the bottom of the first-rate sections. This could be seen from the fact that they only had 3 true element boundary experts in their sect. Therefore, the Great Sun Divine Palace naturally only made arrangements for them. This scene made Sect Master Rockheart feel extremely embarrassed. As for Xing Hui, he didn't have any thoughts about it. He would leave after snatching the Fortune Divine Jade. In order to prevent people from discovering his identity in the Chaos Divine Palace, he was more than willing to keep a low profile. Elder Dong Yang, this is the information that the Palace Master asked me to send to you. Early the next morning, Wang Ke, Rockheart, and the others appeared in Xing Hui's courtyard and handed him a set of detailed information. This is the information that the Palace Master gathered from the Purple Firmament Palace's intelligence network. Among the 100 competitors, 8 of them are true element boundary experts. Data. Xing Hui nodded slightly when he heard this. He didn't take it too seriously. Among the 8 true element boundary experts, 6 of them represent the 6 Supreme Saint sects. There's no doubt that the 6 of them will occupy the top 6 positions. Elder Dong Yang, you have to pay attention to the remaining 2 true element boundary experts. One of the 2 true element boundary experts relied on natural treasures to reach the initial true element boundary, so he's less of a threat. As for the other one, before Wang Ke finished his introduction, Xing Hui seemed to have thought of something and suddenly asked, "By the way, the Fortune Divine Jade's activated state will last for 3 months. What's the order of comprehension during these 3 months? Do we start from the 1st place or the 10th place?" Naturally, we start from the 1st place. The 1st place will comprehend for a month, the 2nd place will comprehend for half a month, the 3rd place will comprehend for 10 days, and the remaining 4 to 10 will comprehend for 5 days according to their ranking. That's a total of 3 months. Wang Ke said. Wang Ke's words made Xing Hui's heart skip a beat. The Fortune Divine Jade required 1,000 Taoist rhymes to activate. If he won the 1st place and was the first to comprehend the Fortune Divine Jade, and absorbed all the Taoist rhymes the moment he obtained it, would he be able to obtain more than 900 Taoist rhymes in one go? If this method worked, that would be a total of 9 chaotic grades. When he thought of this, Xing Hui, who had only planned to go through the motions and get into the top 10 to comprehend the Fortune Divine Jade, began to feel restless. Chapter 311. Get First Place. Get first place, be the first to come into contact with the Fortune Jade, then leave with the Fortune Jade. Xing Hui made up his mind. Elder Dong Yang, this is the information we collected about the cultivators who are a threat to those 4 positions. There are a total of 23 people. These 23 people may be a threat to you and compete with you for the 7th and 10th place to comprehend the Fortune Jade. Wang Ke said as he passed the detailed information to Xing Hui. Xing Hui received the information and flipped through it one by one. Soon, Xing Hui noticed something, and his brows furrowed slightly. These people's cultivation was the same as his, in the prominent sage realm, but not all of them were at the peak of the prominent sage realm. On the contrary, the majority of them were in the mid and early prominent sage realm, and the reason why they were included in the list was because of the immortal arts and secret treasures they possessed. It could be said that by relying on these immortal arts and secret treasures, their battle strength could only be considered below average, but they had actually become a hot existence in the competition for the top 10 spots. Moreover, after looking at the information for a while, Xing Hui quickly realized a problem. Why is there no indication of their chaos realm in the information? One must know that a high-level son of chaos's divine arts can often turn the tide of a battle at a critical moment. High-level son of chaos? Wang Ke was slightly taken aback, and Rockheart and the others beside him also looked at each other. After a while, Rockheart explained, although raising one's chaos realm can increase one's strength, instead of using the time to raise one's chaos realm, it's better to fight for the opportunity to comprehend the Fortune Jade, or exchange one's Tao treasure for the right to cultivate 1 or 2 supreme immortal arts. Some immortal arts, if mastered well, are much more useful than raising one's chaos realm. Therefore, other than those who have comprehended enough supreme immortal arts or sons of chaos who are not qualified to participate in the fortune banquet, most people wouldn't use their Tao treasure to raise their chaos realm. Xing Hui was astonished by Rockhart's explanation. In the eyes of the Fortune Mainland's people, the immortal arts comprehended from the Fortune Jade were actually more useful than the Chaos Realm? But a moment later, Xing Hui thought of the supreme immortal technique he had just comprehended, Magic Arsenal. At the minor completion stage of the Magic Arsenal casting technique, he would be able to transform the spirituality of 16th order spiritual objects. If he could reach the major completion stage, he would even be able to transform the spirituality of 9th order spiritual objects as long as he had enough true qi. Based on the average cultivation level of the Fortune continent, the major completion stage of the Magic Arsenal casting technique seemed to be more useful than the Sons of Chaos who were only in the 20s. After all, the Chaos level could grant one many special abilities, but there were not many abilities that could significantly increase one's strength. Especially the Incarnation Technique and Transmission Technique, they were practically useless to the people of Fortune Mainland. When the Avatar Technique descended on Heaven Wasteland, the consequence of their weakened state was enough to make them wish they were dead. As for the prerequisite of the Teleportation Technique, it was necessary to teleport to a place that they had been to before. If they wanted to go to Heaven Wasteland World, they had to first descend to Heaven Wasteland World using the Avatar Technique. This made the teleportation technique almost an unsolvable knot. Under such circumstances, the Fortune Mainland's people were naturally not very enthusiastic about the Chaos Realm. According to Wang Ke, there were less than 10 high-level Sons of Chaos in the entire Fortune Mainland. Moreover, these 10 people were basically the experts of the older generation. It was almost impossible to see high-level Sons of Chaos appearing in the Fortune Mainland's Grand Assembly. It seems that the divine art may be able to turn the tables for me at a critical moment. Unfortunately, the duration of the divine art is too short. Otherwise, it wouldn't be as simple as just one round. Xing Hui was faintly regretful. Under Wang Ke's introduction, Qing Su gained a clear understanding of the various immortal arts and arcane treasures these 23 powerful competitors possessed very soon. It had to be said that the battle strength of cultivators in this world with and without magic artifacts was completely incomparable. Take Ling Shi for example. Before she used the Six Flames Profound Flag, Xing Hui could completely crush her with the Golden Crow battle physique. However, after using the Six Flames Profound Flag, she was able to exchange blows with Xing Hui. If Xing Hui had not comprehended the Sword of the Glorious Sun during the battle and summoned that earth-shattering sword move, he might not have been able to defeat her so easily. Elder Dong Yang, among these 23 people, the ones you really need to be careful of are these 3 people, Ling Huyu, Hong Bai, and Qing Yi. These 3 people all possess fire-resistant magic artifacts, especially Qing Yi. The profound fire control flag in his hand is a top fire-controlling magic artifact. When you fight with him, you'd better not give him time to summon his magic artifact. Use your fastest speed to defeat him in one fell swoop. I understand. Xing Hui nodded. Of course, in this competition, in fact, in addition to strength, luck is also very important. After the first round of competition, 50 people will be selected. In the second round, 25 people will be left. In the third round, 1 person will be lucky enough to advance directly. At that time, there will only be 13 people left. One of these 13 people will be lucky enough to advance directly and enter the top 10 with the 6 winners. The defeated cultivators will compete again to compete for the top 10 places. When the top 10 places are determined, the ranking challenge will begin. The cultivators can occupy a ranking according to their strength and accept the challenges of others. The first place has to face 9 challenges or defeat 9 other people, the second place has to defeat 8 others, and so on. Wang Ke said with a smile, in fact, it's mainly a competition for the top 3 places. The rewards for the last 7 places are similar. Everyone can basically guarantee peace. It's just a competition for reputation. Won't the first place fall into a tag team battle? Of course, Since you want to occupy the first place, you naturally have to pay the price. However, for the sake of fairness, the first place can apply for a day's rest after each battle. Sing Hui listened and nodded thoughtfully. It seemed that the first place was not so easy to obtain. The cultivators of the 6 supreme sects are all considered seeded contestants. They won't encounter each other before the top 10. This is the privilege of the 6 supreme sects, but the others don't have this convenience. If you are unlucky enough to encounter the seeded contestants of the 6 supreme sects in the first round, then you can only pin your hopes on standing out in the losers group and competing for the remaining 3 places. You will encounter such a probability, and you will also encounter Ling Huyu, Hong Bai, and Qing Yi who are more of a threat to you. This is also why I said that luck is also very important. If you are lucky, you can completely avoid Ling Huyu, Hong Bai, and Qing Yi. If you are extremely lucky and get a bye in the 3rd and 4th round, then your chances are equivalent to entering the top 10. When Wang Ke said this, a smile appeared on his face. According to the ancestors of the 6 supreme sects, luck and opportunity are also a kind of strength. If the founding ancestor of the Purple Cloud Palace didn't obtain the Fortune Jade by chance, how could he have created a supreme sect like the Purple Cloud Palace out of nothing? If the Great Sun Divine Palace didn't comprehend the supreme immortal technique, 10 heaven-burning suns, from the Fortune Sacred Jade, how could they push the Great Sun Divine Palace, which was originally a first-rate sect, into the ranks of the 6 supreme sects? Since there is such a high probability of encountering the seeded contestants of the 6 supreme sects, why don't Deacon Wang Ke tell me about the strength and characteristics of the seeded contestants of the 6 supreme sects? This is fine. Wang Ke hesitated for a moment, but still said, the foundation of the 6 supreme sects far surpasses that of the first-rate sections. Therefore, the seeded contestants of these forces have not only cultivated to the realm of true essence, but also mastered immortal techniques and secret treasures that the first-rate sects can't compare to. Among the 6 supreme sects, the most promising contestants are Lu Taihua of the Great Sun Divine Palace, Dao Wuya of the 3 Pristine Sect, and Nan Tiando of the Taisher Sect. The magic treasure of these 3 people is a flame sword, which has the power to divide and control fire. As for the immortal technique, it is naturally 10 heaven-burning suns. With this immortal technique, he can create 10 great suns, and with the enhancement of the flame sword, its power is strong enough to make a transcendent expert look askance. Dao Wuya's magic treasure is a 3 treasure scepter, which seems to have the ability to attack from a distance. In addition, the supreme immortal technique he cultivates is called Yi Qi San Qing, which can be divided into 3, and its battle strength is shocking. As for Nan Tiando, his magic treasure is the Star Pearl, which contains the power of a star and is extremely heavy. Ordinary mountains and rivers would be turned into dust if smashed by his Star Pearl. Are there no outstanding disciples in our Purple Cloud Palace this year? Well, it's not that we don't have any. It's just that they're not as outstanding as the Sanqing Sect, Taisher Sect, or Great Sun Divine Palace. Wang Ke replied awkwardly. Sing Hui could tell that Wang Ke was just trying not to undermine his own sect's prestige. Sing Hui then carefully studied the information of the seed disciples of the Purple Cloud Palace and the other 2 supreme sections. He quickly understood the strengths and weaknesses of these 6 people. If it was purely a competition of strength, he might be able to take first place with the power of the Golden Crow battle form and the sword of the Glorious Sun. However, each of these people had supreme immortal skills and many secret treasures. This made Sing Hui very cautious. Sacrificial fire of the road, heaven-burning 10 suns, boundless Tao, 3 pure ones in one breath, shifting stars of the southern sky dipper. Sing Hui carefully looked through the information of the 3 cultivators who posed the greatest threat to him. A plan to deal with them gradually formed in his mind. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. After 3 days, the Fortune Grand Banquet finally arrived. The Burning Sky sect was led by Yen Xen and they directly arrived at the venue of the Fortune Grand Banquet. This was a large venue made up of more than 20 mountain peaks. Every mountain peak was packed with cultivators. At first glance, there were no less than 10,000 people. The total number of cultivators on the 20 mountain peaks was more than 200,000. The 20 mountain peaks were either near or far, high or low. They filled the area of 10 kilometers. In the center of these mountain peaks, there was a huge mountain peak that was more than 1,000 meters in diameter. It was used as a competition platform. The platform was reinforced by a formation and became extremely hard. Even if a divine Qi uniting realm expert wielding a grade 4 divine weapon, he wouldn't be able to leave a mark on the platform. Soon, all of the Fortune Mainland's geniuses would gather on this stage, under the witness of the 6 supreme sects, as well as numerous first and second-rate sections. The top 10 most outstanding young masters would be sent to comprehend the Fortune Jade, enjoying endless glory and glory. Chapter 312. They're finally here. Qing Su stood on one of the mountains and gazed at the surroundings from the top. A gleam of light flashed through his eyes. He had been on the Fortune Mainland for a whole year. In this 1 year, his transmission technique had cooled down, and he could return to the Eastern Wasteland at any time. It was because of this piece of Fortune Jade that he had been delayed until now. Fortunately, it was finally time to put the Fortune Divine Jade into his bag. Elder Dong Yang, don't feel pressured during the competition later. Given your strength, as long as you perform normally and are lucky enough to meet the seeded contestants of the 6 supreme sects, the probability of you making it into the top 10 is more than 90%. Moreover, even if you unfortunately meet the seeded contestants of the 6 supreme sects and lose, it doesn't matter. The losers will still be able to determine 3 places in the losers group and occupy the 8th, 9th, and 10th places. By then, they will be able to comprehend the Fortune Jade. Wang Ke encouraged Xing Hui from the side. Xing Hui nodded. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I won't disappoint the Purple Firmament Palace's elders. Good, you should adjust your condition. The Fortune Mainland Grand Assembly is about to begin. When those people go up on stage, I'll introduce them to you one by one. Wang Ke said and did not say anything else. Qing Su didn't say anything either. Instead, he looked at the surroundings. Compared to the situation in the Eastern Wasteland where the 9 great sects had formed an alliance to resist the creation mystical sect, the situation in the Fortune Mainland was basically peaceful. Even if there were conflicts between the 6 great supreme sects, they were basically carried out in the dark. The war on the surface could be traced back to 3,000 years ago. Therefore, many great sects and first-rate sects were able to safely hold such a grand event that swept across the entire mainland. If this happened in the Eastern Wasteland, the 10 great sects would have already started a war. Even if they didn't, such a grand assembly would have developed into some kind of shocking conspiracy. In the end, a war would still be inevitable. The Fortune Mainland has been in a state of rapid development for a long time. The number and scale of cultivators here is really not something the Eastern Wasteland can compare to. Xing Hui looked at the cultivators around him and sighed with emotion. Amongst the over 200,000 cultivators present here, there were absolutely over 1,000 at the Saint Realm, and the remaining were basically at the Spirit Energy Unification Realm, Green Hell Realm, and Vision Saint Realm. Although the Fortune Mainland did not have an almighty master overseeing it, the number of Saint Realm experts it had was not inferior to those mainlands that had an almighty master overseeing them. At the very least, their development had reached the pinnacle of the mid-sized mainlands. Among the thousands of islands in the world, it was unlikely that there would be any Saint Realm experts from a mid-sized mainland that could reach the level of the Fortune Mainland. The people from the 6 supreme sects are here. Just as Xing Hui was sizing up the cultivators around him, Wang Ke suddenly reminded him. Then, the 6 battleships broke through the wind and waves, sweeping up clouds and clouds, heading straight for the 6 highest mountains among the 20 or so mountains. These battleships docked securely, and several figures jumped out from these battleships. Every one of these figures exuded an extremely powerful aura. Even if they were transcendent realm experts who could control their aura at will, they did not hold back at all as they released their aura, intimidating the surroundings. Qing Su sensed them one by one and counted them. Transformative realm experts, 24 from the Great Sun Divine Palace, 20 from the Purple Cloud Palace, 22 from the 3 Purities Sect, 23 from the Grand Beginning Sect, 19 from the Netherworld Sect, 26 from the heavenly court actually came? Didn't the heavenly court also fail to cultivate any outstanding disciples this time? If it's just a formality, why are there so many transcendent realm experts here? Unable to find an answer, Xing Hui could only hide this trace of doubt in his heart. As the 6 Supreme Sects people returned to their seats, the originally lively Fortune Mainland Grand Banquet gradually quieted down. Then, a man exuding a powerful aura stepped onto the central stage. It was the Great Sun Divine Palace's Palace Lord, Xingji. Xingji stepped onto the stage and gave an opening speech. During this time, Xing Hui asked Wang Ke, "How long will the Fortune Mainland Grand Banquet last?" This depends on whether there is anyone who can suppress the crowd and sit firmly in the top 3. After all, the top 3 rankings are disputed, but it usually lasts for half a month. As Wang Ke spoke, he seemed to have thought of something and reminded, although there are many sects and forces participating in the Fortune Mainland Grand Banquet, as time passes, when the top 10 are determined, more than 90% of the sects will miss the opportunity to comprehend the Fortune Jade. At that time, they will hold a large-scale trade fair in the square outside the Great Sun Divine Palace. Of course, the level of the trade fair will not be too high and is limited to the immortality realm. Occasionally, there will be true energy realm experts and even transcendent realm experts participating. The items that can be traded are limited to the immortality realm, and the items of the green darkness realm and prominent divine realm are the most popular. As for what good items can be bought, it depends on one's luck. Oh, I wonder what currency is used for trading in the trade fair? Is it possible to buy supreme immortal skills? Supreme immortal skills? Wang Ke was shocked. Supreme immortal skills are usually in the hands of many supreme sections. Although almost no one in the 6 supreme sects can fully cultivate the supreme immortal skills, there are still very few of them that have been passed down. At this point, he paused slightly and lowered his voice slightly. If you want to obtain a supreme immortal skill through a formal trade, you can only rely on luck. However, after a few rounds of elimination, before the competition for the top 10 begins, there will be a private trade. In this trade, you may be able to obtain a supreme immortal skill. However, this private trade is only semi-public. It is not easy to obtain the right to enter. If Elder Dong Yang is really interested, you can ask the Palace Lord when the time comes. The Palace Lord may be able to obtain the right to enter. Private trade. Xing Hui nodded when he heard this. He was about to return to the Heaven Wasteland domain, but because he had stayed in the Purple Cloud Palace for too short a time, he had not made any great contributions. He could not cultivate those mysterious immortal skills, which made him itch unbearably. If he could obtain a few good supreme immortal skills through this private trade, then this 1 year in the Fortune Continent would really be worth it. If he was lucky, he could even obtain the incomparably coveted fake pill technique. He was afraid that Tianqiong and the others would be willing to spend a lot of money to trade with him. After all, I have too few secret treasures and supreme immortal skills. When the time comes, I plan to try my luck. Secret treasures? Supreme immortal skills? With Elder Dong Yang's talent in cultivating a divine grade battle physique, once you return to the Purple Cloud Palace after the Fortune Fair and head to the Pillar of Heaven's Mountain, the headquarters of the Purple Cloud Palace, there will be all kinds of secret treasures and supreme immortal skills. If you continue to perform well, won't you be able to get many resources at your disposal? Wang Ke said with a hint of flattery. Xing Hui only smiled when he heard this. It was true that he could receive good treatment at the Pillar of Heaven's Mountain. Any supreme sect would place great importance on cultivators with divine grade battle physiques, but he could not wait for that day to come. While Xing Hui and Wang Ke were talking, the Great Sun Divine Palace's Palace Master Xingji had already finished his speech. In the end, he said in a clear voice, "Next, let's invite our Great Sun Divine Palace's supreme divine item, the Fortune Divine Jade, to be displayed to the various sects' elders and sect masters." In the past 15 years, our Great Sun Divine Palace has been cautious and conscientious in guarding the Fortune Divine Jade, not daring to slack off in the slightest. Today, whichever sect wins first place will become the new custodian of the Fortune Divine Jade. Now, please verify the authenticity of the Fortune Divine Jade. As Xingji spoke, the various first-rate sects did not move, but the 5 supreme sects sent 3 or 4 people forward at the same time. They surrounded the Great Sun Divine Palace's Palace Master Xingji, as if they were examining the Fortune Divine Jade. Xing Hui wanted to see the true appearance of the Fortune Divine Jade, but the Burning Sky sect was arranged to be at the back. In addition, there were people blocking him, so he could not see it clearly. He could only turn to Yan Xian and ask, "Didn't the Great Sun Divine Palace's Palace Master Xingji invite us to verify the authenticity of the Fortune Divine Jade? Why is my Burning Sky sect not moving?" This, Yan Xian's face showed a trace of embarrassment, not knowing how to answer. It was Wang Ke who said softly, "This is just the Great Sun Divine Palace's polite words. The only ones who are qualified to verify the authenticity of the Fortune Divine Jade are the 6 supreme sections. Not allowing people to see the true appearance of the Fortune Divine Jade is also to ensure the safety of the Fortune Divine Jade, in case someone wants to steal it." Hearing this, Xing Hui could only helplessly restrain his thoughts. However, he could understand the actions of the 6 supreme sacred sections. Ordinary people had never even seen the true Fortune Divine Jade before. Naturally, the probability of the Fortune Divine Jade being stolen and snatched away was reduced to the lowest. It was just that, putting on such a show in front of all the Fortune Mainland's cultivators, it really felt superfluous. That's right, it is indeed the true Fortune Divine Jade. My Purple Firmament Palace guarantees that it is not fake. The Grand Beginning sect confirms. The 3 Purities sect confirms. The 5 supreme sects people circled around the Fortune Divine Jade and sized it up for a while. Then, they announced the authenticity of the Fortune Divine Jade in front of all the Fortune Mainland's cultivators. After the 5 supreme sects people left and returned to their respective peaks, Xingji no longer spoke nonsense. The authenticity of the Fortune Divine Jade has been verified. Therefore, I hereby announce that the Fortune Mainland's Grand Meeting has officially begun. Now, we will arrange the participants for the duels. The 2 participants whose tokens lit up will step onto the stage at the same time to determine the winner and loser. After Xingji finished speaking, he leaped up and returned to the Great Sun Divine Palace's mountain peak. Not long after Xingji returned to the Great Sun Divine Palace's mountain peak, a muscular man in the prominent sage realm flew up on his sword and hovered in the air above the stage. He said loudly, "I, Lang Ping, would actually be the first participant. Wanhua Sect's Lang Ping is here. I wonder which fellow Taoist would like to give me a pointer or two." Swish. Not long after Lang Ping stepped onto the stage, a figure appeared in the void and stood on his sword. 5 Elements Manners Xue Qi is here to experience fellow Taoists' immortal arts. At the same time, 4 Transcendent Realm experts appeared in the 4 corners of the void. One of them said to the 2 participants, "On the battle stage, life and death are up to fate. However, the heavens have the virtue of being merciful. Where there is room for error, there is room for mercy. We hope that you can show mercy. All right, if the 2 of you do not have any objections, I will announce the start of the competition. Please. Haha, I can't wait to see all the fellow Taoists' supreme immortal arts. Then, let the competition begin." Chapter 313. Lang Ping and Xue Qi were both in the late stage of the prominent divine realm. Moreover, the 2 of them didn't seem to have placed their hopes on the divine might of the Saint Physique and relied on the Saint Physique to determine victory. Instead, they went straight for the celestial techniques and secret treasures. As soon as the battle began, the first thing the 2 did was not to charge at each other and gain the upper hand. Instead, they both retreated and took out their own secret treasures. Lang Ping's secret treasure rolled up a black wind that covered the sky and the sun. Those who were hit by the black wind felt dizzy. Its power was somewhat similar to Wu Sui's soul-dispersing divine wind, but its effect was obviously weaker. Its interference ability was better than actual combat. On the other hand, Xue Qi took out his Dharma treasure and made an icy rain fall within a few hundred meters. The icy rain was bone-chilling, and those who were hit by it were frozen to the bone. Lang Ping had no choice but to take out his true essence to defend himself. Xing Hui found it inconceivable to see such a fierce battle. After a while, he said to Wang Ke, "Why don't Lang Ping and Xue Qi take out their saint physique and fight with all their might? Why do they need to use their Dharma treasures and immortal techniques to fight? This kind of battle method might have a miraculous effect if they are caught off guard, but isn't it more enjoyable to fight using their battle physique?" Saint physique? Wang Ke was slightly startled. If they directly take out their saint physique, what if they can't win this battle in a short time? Won't they be severely exhausted? How will they deal with the rest of the battle? Aren't there 50 rounds? After 50 rounds, it will take at least half a day. Even if they are exhausted, as long as they don't completely exhaust their true qi, they will be able to recover. Once they take out their saint physique, how much true qi will they have left after the battle? Wang Ke couldn't help but laugh. After hearing Wang Ke's words, Xing Hui remembered that he was overthinking. The reason why the prominent divine stage grand elders didn't use their saint physique so easily was that it was difficult to recover. Xing Hui had the rank 6 recovery ability. Once his true qi was completely exhausted, he would need 2 to 3 days to recover to his peak state. Even if he took out his saint physique and fought for 5 to 6 breaths, he would need half a day to recover completely, let alone those who weren't sons of chaos who had 0 recovery ability. In the field, the battle between the two continued. Lang Ping and Xue Qi exchanged blows back and forth. Their immortal arts and magic treasures displayed their prowess, but in the end, Xue Qi was still slightly superior. After being hit by the bone-piercing icy rain, Lang Ping's movements became more and more sluggish, and his body trembled incessantly. After this battle lasted for almost an hour, Lang Ping suddenly, he admitted defeat. Not bad. It wasn't a battle of life and death, but he admitted defeat. Looking at Lang Ping, who bowed to Xue Qi and left the platform, Xing Hui turned to Lang Ping in shock. He didn't even try his best, and he admitted defeat just like that? Victory and defeat have been decided. Xue Qi is one step ahead. Lang Ping is unwilling to let this go and embarrass himself, so he should admit defeat. Wang Ke looked as if it was only natural. He lost this battle. How will he face the Wanhua sect? Elder Dong Yang, what do you mean? What does losing have to do with facing the Wanhua sect? Wang Ke was slightly taken aback. Then, as if he had thought of something, he hurriedly said, although he lost the battle, he can enter the losers group and continue to fight his way to victory. After all, although the losers group only has 3 spots, at least he won't have to face the 6 Supreme Sects seeded contestants. Instead of wasting his vitality by losing to the 6 Supreme Sects seeded contestants, he might as well conserve his strength and stand out in the losers group. His method is also a tactic to preserve his vitality. In the past, there were many sects with lower chances of winning the losers group that used this tactic. Xing Hui opened his mouth, but what else could he say? The atmosphere of the Fortune mainland was a little too harmonious. It was indeed worthy of being a peaceful world that had not experienced any war for 3,000 years. People with a strong desire to win like Ling Shi were as rare as phoenix feathers and qilin horns. The battles continued, and the prodigies that represented their respective sects and clans continued to fight on the arena one after another. If these prodigies believed that they were inferior to someone else, they would often admit defeat willingly. Even if their strength was similar, they actually never fought to the death. Qing Su had watched 18 battles along the way, and there were actually only 8 battles where both sides had used the power of the saint's body. Of course, there were also 4 battles where both sides went all out, and in the end, both sides suffered heavy losses. But compared to the total 18 battles, this number was less than a quarter. If such a thing happened in the eastern wilderness, it was almost unimaginable. There would definitely be people who would secretly take action long ago. They would use all kinds of methods to harm their competitors and wear down their opponents' fighting spirit. They would use all kinds of sinister tricks. Compared to the Heaven Wasteland world, the people of the Fortune mainland were simply modest gentlemen. At this moment, Xing Hui even faintly understood why he could easily gain the trust of the Purple Firmament Palace and Burning Sky sect. His talent was one thing, and the contribution of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique was another. Most importantly, the general atmosphere of the Fortune mainland was like this. Everyone cared about their reputation, and the atmosphere of scheming was far from being comparable to the Heaven Wasteland world and Eastern Wasteland world. Buzz buzz. Just as Tsing Hui did not know whether to praise or belittle the general atmosphere of the Fortune mainland, the token in his hand vibrated slightly. Not long after, a figure landed in the center of the stage. Chi Huang Sek's Miao Daozi, I wonder which fellow Taoist would like to exchange pointers with me? Tsing Hui immediately stood up. Wang Ke hurriedly said, this Miao Daozi is a person who specializes in entanglement. His immortal technique is called Spring Wind Rain, and it is most proficient in healing injuries and restoring true essence. Elder Dong Yang must not fall into a state of anxiety when fighting with him. It is best to end the battle quickly and secure victory. Tsing Hui nodded. This was also his idea. Burning Sky Sec's Dong Yang, please? Tsing Hui gestured to Miao Dozi in front of him with his hand. Since the two of you are ready, then I will announce the start of the battle. The Transcendent Realm expert in charge of the referee immediately appeared and announced. The moment this Transcendent Realm expert gave the order, Tsing Hui's aura suddenly erupted. In an instant, a terrifying and vast blazing pressure swept through the void. The phantom of a divine beast suddenly appeared behind Tsing Hui, stirring up boundless power. Almost everyone's expression changed drastically. Then, before Miao Daozi could react, and before the crowd could see clearly what kind of saint physique Tsing Hui had manifested, Miao Daozi was sent flying while vomiting blood. Like a meteor, Miao Daozi crashed into the ground and fainted. Swoosh! His aura was restrained. The powerful pressure that filled the entire fighting ring with a radius of more than 10 kilometers was quickly restrained by Tsing Hui's genuine qi. Tsing Hui once again returned to his calm appearance when he stepped onto the platform. He slightly cupped his hands to the unconscious Miao Daozi and said, "Thank you for letting me win." After that, his figure flashed and he returned to the Burning Sky sect. Such a straightforward battle stunned the Transcendent Realm expert in charge of the referee. It took him a while to react and announce Tsing Hui's victory. Following his announcement, there was an uproar in the crowd. What's going on? Just now, I seem to have felt a terrifying aura from Brother Dong Yang of the Burning Sky sect. The aura was so strong that it made me tremble with fear. Before Brother Miao Daozi was ready, he suddenly attacked. It was like a sneak attack. He's really inhumane. Brother Dong Yang's sudden sneak attack was indeed a bit overboard, but he did it after the referee announced the start of the match, so it's not against the rules. We have to be more careful when we face him in the future. Moreover, Brother Miao Daozi is good at entangling and delaying. Brother Dong Yang took advantage of Brother Miao Daozi's immortal technique to use all his strength to win the match. His method is not glorious, but his tactical thinking is undoubtedly correct. All kinds of discussions were constantly heard in the crowd. There were people who felt that Qing Su's battle tactics were impressive, while there were people who felt that Qing Su was lacking in manners, or that he was a despicable ambusher. As for the powerful aura that Qing Su had displayed when he manifested the Golden Crow battle form earlier, no one paid any more attention to it very soon. Although these people did not pay attention to it, the Transcendent Realm experts and even the never-ending realm experts of the Six Supreme Sects were looking at Tsing Hui curiously. Interesting. It seems that the Burning Sky sect has produced an extraordinary talent this time. What Burning Sky sect? I think it's the Purple Cloud Palace. Dong Yang is most likely a genius disciple that the Purple Cloud Palace has been secretly cultivating. They just used the Burning Sky sect to push him out. Just wait and see. The Purple Cloud Palace will definitely take him in after the Fortune Creation Grand Banquet. The power of Dong Yang's battle constitution isn't simple. Although he immediately withdrew his divine body, I'm afraid that it's not a divine-grade battle constitution, but a divine-grade Golden Crow battle constitution. An ancestral patriarch of the Taisher sect said as he looked at the Great Sun Divine Palace. The palace master of the Great Sun Divine Palace, Xing Ji, looked at Tsing Hui and nodded slightly. Such a good seedling who has cultivated the golden crow divine body shouldn't be wasted in the purple cloud palace. Brother Xiangjun, why don't you give him to the great sun divine palace? Xiangjun was a grand elder sent by the purple cloud palace headquarters on the Sky Pillar Mountain. He was a peak never-ending realm expert. When he heard Xingji, the palace master of the great sun divine palace, he laughed and said, "I don't know what the palace master is talking about. Dong Yang is a member of the Burning Sky sect. How can he be related to the Purple Cloud Palace?" Apparently, he was trying to smooth things over. Xingji smiled and did not take it seriously. If he had cultivated such an excellent genius disciple, he would not have let others poach him so easily. What a pity! He was a good seedling who cultivated the Golden Crow bloodline. The battles continued. The first round took more than half a day to end. Half of the 100 sects were eliminated, leaving only 50. As the first round came to an end, the second round began. Moreover, in the third round, Qing Su's medallion had already begun to vibrate again. Clearly, it was his turn. As he stood up, a figure whizzed over from the direction of the Purple Cloud Palace like a stream of light. The aura of a true energy realm expert emanated from his body without reservation. "I am Gaochen from the Purple Cloud Palace. Greetings, everyone. I wonder which of you would like to fight me?" Chapter 314. The Purple Cloud Palace? He's going up against a genius disciple of the Purple Cloud Palace in the second round? Wang Kei's gaze landed on Tsing Hui with a hint of worry in his eyes. "Dong Yang, just admit defeat when the time comes. Even if you lose, you can still get into the top 10 of the losers bracket. Admit defeat?" Tsing Hui frowned. "I want to know if the top 10 winners of the losers bracket can compete for the top 3. Top 3? Wang Kei was slightly taken aback. Elder Dong Yang wants to compete for the top 3? That's impossible. The top 3 can only be decided from Tonghua, Boundless Dao, and Nantiando. Whether it's immortal arts or secret treasures, they're all much stronger than ordinary experts. Even the peerless geniuses cultivated by the Purple Cloud Palace, the Primeval Sect, and the Heavenly Court can't beat them unless a miracle happens. You just need to answer my question." "Sure. Anyone in the top 10 is qualified to compete for the top 3. "I understand," Tsing Hui said and leaped onto the platform. Seeing Tsing Hui, Gaochen, who represented the Purple Cloud Palace, was slightly taken aback. He then chuckled with a faint arrogance on his face. "I know you, Dongyang. You originally wanted to join the Purple Cloud Palace and use our name to participate in the fortune pageant. However, your cultivation was too weak at that time, only at the Blue Netherworld realm. You didn't have the qualifications to participate in the fortune pageant, so you were rejected by the upper echelons of the Purple Cloud Palace. But because you're the son of chaos and contributed an item with 4 Taoist rhymes, Palace Master Xiang Hong of the Central Palace found a compromise for you and allowed you to participate in the fortune pageant under the name of the Burning Sky sect. Am I right?" After he finished speaking, the Purple Cloud Palace's genius didn't give Tsing Hui any time to speak. He waved his hand and said, "I'm the true seed of the Purple Cloud Palace. I'm a peerless genius who has cultivated true essence before the age of 80. Even if you've broken through to the prominent divine stage in this year, you're still no match for me. You should just surrender. Otherwise, don't blame me for teaching you a lesson on behalf of the Purple Cloud Palace's headquarters on Tianzhu Mountain. I'll let you understand the immensity of heaven and earth." Tsing Hui glanced at the arrogant genius of the Purple Cloud Palace, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. However, he seemed to have thought of something after a while. He snorted and said, "Then I'll wish you, the peerless genius of the Purple Cloud Palace, a complete victory. You'll be ranked first in this fortune pageant." After he finished speaking, he said to the transformative realm arbitrator, "I surrender." As expected of an unorthodox person who tried to curry favor with our Purple Cloud Palace halfway through. You have no respect for your elders. Gaochen seemed to have heard the dissatisfaction in Tsing Hui's words. He immediately waved his sleeve, snorted, and turned to leave. "I want to be ranked first. We'll have a chance to compete. I hope you won't lose too quickly." Sing Hui looked at Gao Chen gloomily as he turned to leave. There was a hint of anger in his heart. In a flash, Sing Hui landed in the Fenshin sect's camp. Wang Ke saw the dissatisfaction on Sing Hui's face and hurriedly comforted him. Elder Dongyang, we don't have to lower ourselves to the same level as these disciples from Tianzhu Mountain. These disciples spend most of their time cultivating in Tianzhu Mountain and don't know the ways of the world. Plus, many elders have placed high hopes on them and doted on them. Over time, they've developed this arrogant attitude. After today's fortune pageant, they'll understand that there's always someone better out there. Sing Hui glanced at Wang Ke and nodded, but didn't say anything. The competition continued. 25 out of 50, 13 out of 25, and 7 out of 13. It took a total of 2 days. On the third day, it was time for the 43 people in the losers group to challenge each other. Before the battles of the losers bracket began, the Purple Cloud Palace did not say anything. Clearly, they believed that the situation was within their control. As for the possibility of Qing Su becoming displeased with the matter of the Gaochen, they seemed to have completely ignored it. After all, in their opinion, it wasn't a big deal for Tsing Hui, who was in the prominent divine stage, to surrender to Gaochen, who was in the true energy stage. Compared to the winners group, although there were many powerhouses in the losers group who were unlucky enough to encounter the 6-seeded contestants and were defeated, overall, they were still weaker. 43 into 22, and 22 into 11. Tsing Hui defeated his opponents without a hitch. After personally witnessing the strange immortal techniques, in order to ensure that nothing went wrong, Huang Xiaolong summoned his golden crow physique and defeated his opponents with lightning speed. Even if his opponents were members of the losers group, Huang Xiaolong didn't dare to underestimate them. After all, he knew too little about the Fortune Mainland's immortal techniques. In order to prevent himself from failing miserably and missing out on the Fortune Divine Jade, Huang Xiaolong had no choice but to deal with every battle with the mentality of a lion hunting a rabbit. On the next day, when it was time to advance from 11 to 6, Tsing Hui was lucky enough to get a bye. Relying on this opportunity, he directly entered the top 6. As long as he won one more battle, he would be able to obtain one of the 3 spots and obtain the qualification to comprehend the Fortune Divine Jade. At this moment, even Yan Xin, Qin Shuo, Wang Ke, and the others couldn't help but feel nervous. This is the last battle. Whether or not we can obtain the qualification to comprehend the Fortune Divine Jade will depend on this battle. In this battle, the only one who can truly suppress Dong Yang is Ling Huyu. As long as he doesn't encounter Ling Huyu, Dong Yang's chances of winning are still above 70%. Wang Ke looked at the 6 opponents and said solemnly, "Fortunately, it's Ling Huyu and not Qing Yi. Although Ling Huyu has the fire Aegis bead, his divine ability is limited to the prominent saint realm. Dong Yang, if you feel that you can't defeat your opponent, use the killing move you comprehended in the Heaven Abandoning Valley. It will definitely turn the tide." Burning Sky Sect's old ancestor Qin Shuo said seriously. At the end of the day, Qing Su represented their Burning Heaven sect. If they could win the fortune banquet in the name of the Burning Heaven sect, the reputation of the Burning Heaven sect would definitely skyrocket. At that time, they would be able to gain a firm foothold among the first-rate sects and even develop into a powerful first-rate sect. "Don't worry, I know what to do," Tsing Hui said. He had to win this round, even if he had to use the divine art at the crucial moment. As the battle began, 2 figures stepped onto the platform. Seeing one of them, Wang Ke, Yan Xin, and Qin Shuo were overjoyed. "It's Ling Huyu. Ling Huyu is on the stage. Dong Yang doesn't have to fight with Ling Huyu anymore." Great. Tsing Hui's expression didn't change as he looked at the remaining 3 people. Any one of them could be his next opponent. However, he was slightly startled when he saw a man among the 3 who was glaring at him with anger. Qi Huang Sect's Miao Daozi? He didn't expect the Qi Huang Sect's expert, who lost to him in the first round, to be able to stand out among the 43 people in the loser group. Ling Huyu's battle lasted for less than half an hour before it ended. As the referee of the place of the outer fringe announced the start of the second round, Tsing Hui's participant token suddenly vibrated. At the same time, Tsing Hui's participant token vibrated, Miao Daozi took out his own token and looked at Xing Hui. Qing Su smiled when he saw this. He directly landed on the platform and said to Miao Daozi, who had also leapt over, "What a coincidence. 4 days ago, I was caught off guard and was defeated by your sneak attack. I wasted so many days in the loser group. Today, I'll show you my true strength." Miao Daozi said angrily. "Caught off guard? Now, are you ready?" Xing Hui said with a smile. Spring, wind and rain. As soon as the transcendent expert announced the start of the battle, Miao Daozi immediately retreated and performed the immortal art he had mastered. With the spring, wind and rain blessing him, not only did it give him a decent defense, it also gave him an extremely strong recovery ability. Unfortunately, it was useless. Rumble. Behind Qing Su, it was like a scorching sun had suddenly erupted. Endless light and heat filled the entire platform in a single moment, so bright that the experts at the Spirit Uniting Realm and Green Netherworld Realm basically struggled to open their eyes. Within the endless light, a strand of great Yang True Fire blazed out, causing space to distort and the ground to turn into glass. It directly landed on Miao Daozi. Miao Daozi had only just pulled out a Class 6 armor after using Spring, Wind and Rain, but it was directly incinerated by the Grand Sun True Fire. The scorching Grand Sun True Fire continued to burn Miao Daozi's body without slowing down at all, immediately making him cry out in pain. His aura rapidly melted away like snow under the scorching sun. Not good. At this critical moment, the 4 adjudicators reacted extremely quickly, charging onto the battlefield to save Miao Daozi from the fate of being burned to ash. At the same time, they used their own methods to try and remove the Grand Sun True Flame. However, under their true essence and methods, although the true sun fire was stopped, it was still burning fiercely and could not be extinguished in a short time. Xing Hui stretched out a hand, drawing out the Grand Sun True Flame and sending it into the Golden Crow behind him. As the Golden Crow vanished into Xing Hui's body, the blinding light that had illuminated the platform rapidly faded away. Can we announce the victor now? That's the Grand Sun True Flame, right? It is indeed extremely overbearing. Although there are people in our Great Sun Divine Palace who have also cultivated the Great Sun Primordial Fire, but compared to your Great Sun Primordial Fire, it is still inferior by a notch. After personally experiencing the power of the Grand Sun True Flame, the Transcendent Realm expert in charge of the adjudicators looked at Xing Hui with a slightly different gaze. Just now, when they had attacked with all their strength, they had only been able to suppress the light of the Grand Sun True Flame and had not been able to remove it from Miao Daozi's body. This scene made them understand that this man in his Golden Crow battle form could threaten their lives. It's just a small trick, not worth mentioning. We can conclude that Miao Daozi is unable to withstand the burning of the Grand Sun True Flame. Therefore, you have won this round. Congratulations, you have earned the right to comprehend the Fortune Divine Jade. Our palace master, Xing Ji, would like to invite Brother Dong Yang to a gathering at Dong Yen Palace tonight. What do you think, Brother Dong Yang? The Transcendent Realm expert said without hesitation. Then, he sent a voice transmission to Dong Yang. Chapter 315. The Palace Master of the Great Sun Divine Palace wants to see me. Xing Hui's heart skipped a beat as he vaguely guessed something. Whether it was the Burning Sky sect or the Purple Cloud Palace, he didn't have much of a sense of belonging. As a son of chaos, he would be warmly welcomed if he joined any first-rate sect. After all, there were quite a number of sects qualified to participate in the Fortune Mainland's Grand Banquet, and the Son of Chaos was the only one lacking. As for the 10 Dao rhymes required for the Fortune Mainland's Grand Banquet, he had provided 4 of them. There was also the Purple Cloud Palace's supreme immortal techniques, the magic arsenal, the reversal of yin and yang, and the earth-shaking staff. The Great Sun Golden Crow technique from the Eastern Wilderness Golden Crow sect might not be any weaker than these. He didn't owe the Purple Cloud Palace anything. Perhaps, the Great Sun Golden Crow incantation that he had contributed to the Purple Cloud Palace could still be used to exchange for a few powerful supreme immortal techniques. Since the Starlight Palace Master has personally invited me, I will respectfully accept. Qing Su replied with a voice transmission. Good, 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 I will inform the palace master. Tonight, the East Flame Hall will await your Excellency Dong Yang's arrival. A faint smile appeared on the Transcendent Realm expert's face. Tsing Hui nodded slightly and returned to the Burning Sky Sect's camp. As soon as he landed inside the Burning Sky Sect, everyone from the Burning Sky Sect gathered around him, their faces filled with joy. Good, very good. Elder Dong Yang, I didn't expect you to make it into the top 10 of the fortune pageant and obtain the qualification to comprehend the fortune jade. Our Burning Sky Sect actually produced a disciple who obtained the qualification to comprehend the fortune jade. It is really the blessing of our ancestors. From today onwards, our Burning Sky Sect will no longer be unknown on the Fortune mainland. Soon, our Burning Sky Sect will welcome an opportunity to develop and rise. Everyone gathered around Qing Su. They were overjoyed, and they did not even bother to watch the next battle to determine the final spot. In the afternoon, the top 10 spots were all decided. After the Starlight Palace Master gave a speech, she announced that the final ranking battle would begin tomorrow. Because Tsing Hui was thinking about the private transaction tonight, he immediately headed to the Purple Cloud Palace's courtyard. Just as he stepped out of the Burning Sky Sect's courtyard, Wang Ke caught up to him. Elder Dong Yang, the Palace Master invites you. Palace Master? It just so happens that I have something to ask the Palace Lord. But what about the private transaction? Haha, with the Palace Master's words, a trading qualification is nothing. Tsing Hui nodded and followed Wang Ke to the courtyard where the Purple Cloud Palace resided. As one of the 6 supreme sects, the courtyard that the Purple Cloud Palace resided in was naturally not something that the Burning Sky Sect could compare to. Rather than calling it a courtyard, it would be better to call it a large palace. It would not be a problem to accommodate thousands or tens of thousands of people. When Wang Ke led Tsing Hui to the periphery of the palace, they stopped. At this time, Sage Saheo walked out and nodded to Wang Quebec. He then led Tsing Hui straight into the palace. Elder Dongyang this time, in fact, several supreme elders, led by great ancestor Xiang Jun, want to see you. When you meet the supreme elders later, you have to be polite. After all, you have just entered our Purple Cloud Palace and have not made any great contributions. Even if your talent is amazing, you may not be able to directly enter Tianzhu Mountain to cultivate. It will depend on the attitude of these supreme elders. I understand. Tsing Hui responded and followed Zaheo to a living room. The living room was relatively remote, and there were not many people in the living room. There was a supreme elder of the never-ending realm, Xiang Jun, and 3 supreme elders of the transcendent realm. In addition to these elders, there were also Gao Chen, who was regarded as a seeded contestant, and Xiang Hong, the palace lord of the Purple Cloud Palace of the Central Region. Dongyang, you are here. Let me introduce you. This is the elder of the Purple Cloud Palace who is in charge of leading the team this time, great ancestor Xiang Jun. These are the supreme elders who are accompanying him, Immortal Yunping, Immortal Kunwu, and Immortal Tianze. As for this one, I believe you have already met him. He is the favored one that our Purple Cloud Palace has spent a lot of effort to cultivate, Gao Chen. In the future, he is expected to take charge of our Purple Cloud Palace and become our future palace lord. Seeing Tsing Hui arrive, Xiang Hong stood up and introduced them to Tsing Hui with a smile. Tsing Hui also bowed slightly to the elders. The elders nodded slightly, but Gao Chen looked at Tsing Hui with a scrutinizing gaze. Although he still looked arrogant, at least he was no longer condescending. Obviously, the strength that Tsing Hui had shown while overcoming all difficulties along the way had made Gao Chen take him seriously. Dong Yang, you are indeed a talent. I heard that you have obtained the inheritance of a son of chaos, and at the same time, obtained many resources and cultivation methods that he left behind. No wonder you can condense a divine-grade battle body. Xiang Jun looked at Tsing Hui and praised him with satisfaction. I still have to thank the Palace Lord for allowing me to cultivate in the Fenshin sect. If it weren't for the 6 blazing mysterious fire formation of the Fenshin sect, even if I could condense a divine-grade Golden Crow battle body, I might not have been able to make it in time for this creation grand pageant. Tsing Hui slightly raised his status in the Fenshin sect. After all, It was true that he had used the 6 blazing mysterious fire formation of the Fenshin sect to cultivate. When he stole the creation sacred jade and left, he would inevitably bring some trouble to the Fenshin sect. If the Purple Cloud Palace could protect the Fenshin sect, he could ensure that the Fenshin sect would be safe. The Burning Sky sect is also a member of the Purple Cloud Palace. It's an affiliated sect of the Purple Cloud Palace. As the favored one of the Purple Cloud Palace, it's reasonable for us to help you condense a divine-grade battle body. Xiang Jun smiled. After a few polite words, he gradually got to the point. Dongyang, you have made it to the top 10 this time and are qualified to comprehend the creation sacred jade. However, there is one thing that you don't know. In fact, although the creation sacred jade has the ability to comprehend supreme celestial techniques, its real function is to assist others so that they can quickly master and cultivate supreme celestial techniques. If it is only used to comprehend supreme celestial techniques, it will be a waste of God's gift. Xing Hui looked at Xiang Jun without batting an eyelid. Then, Supreme Elder, what do you mean? Since you already understand that the main function of the Fortune Jade is to help people master immortal techniques as quickly as possible, I'll be frank with you. I heard from Xiang Hong that although you learned 2 supreme immortal techniques from our Purple Cloud Palace a year ago, these 2 supreme immortal techniques won't be of any help to your battle prowess. Even if you master them, they'll be useless. If you use the precious opportunity of comprehending the Fortune Jade to learn these 2 useless immortal techniques, you'll lose more than you gain. Why don't I make the decision and let you choose 2 more immortal techniques? You can choose whether they're ordinary or supreme immortal techniques. After all, no matter how profound the Fortune Jade is, comprehending 2 immortal techniques in 5 days is the limit. Moreover, it's very likely that these 2 immortal techniques were comprehended by him in the past. Since you've obtained these 2 immortal techniques, you've already obtained what you want. Why don't you give the opportunity to comprehend the Fortune Jade for 5 days to Gaochen? Give the opportunity to comprehend the creation sacred jade for 5 days to Gaochen? Xing Hui frowned when he heard Xiang Jun's words. That's right. Gaochen is a genius disciple carefully cultivated by our Purple Cloud Palace. In the future, he has a chance to become a palace lord of the Purple Cloud Palace. At such a young age, not only has he condensed his vital energy and stepped into the Saint Realm, but he has also comprehended a total of 5 celestial techniques. Even if he has enough time to comprehend the creation's sacred jade, it is not impossible for him to master 1 or 2 of them. Once he masters the celestial techniques, his combat strength will definitely skyrocket. At that time, he will be able to suppress the other geniuses in the palace and will almost immediately be conferred the title of Deputy Palace Lord. He will be groomed as the future Palace Lord of the Purple Cloud Palace. Because of your help, Gaochen is indebted to you. When you arrive at the Purple Cloud Palace on the Pillar of Heaven's Mountain, Gaochen will naturally take care of you. Who knows, you might even become Gaochen's vassal. There's no need to talk about glory, wealth, and celestial techniques. Even cultivating the golden core and extending your lifespan by 3,000 years is not an extravagant hope. Xiang Jun advised in a sincere and heartfelt manner. To the side, Gaochen nodded slightly and said, Dongham, your cultivation is not obtained through proper means. If you want the Purple Cloud Palace to nurture you wholeheartedly, you'll still need to observe for a long time. Doing so will only waste the precious cultivation time of your golden years. However, as long as you're willing to give me the opportunity to comprehend the Fortune Jade, I'll definitely do my best to manage it for you. I'll let the Purple Cloud Palace nurture you as the next genius. When the time comes, let alone 2 supreme celestial arts, even 3, 4, or 5 celestial arts won't be a problem for you. This is a critical opportunity for your life to change. You must seize it. As the supreme elder of the 6 supreme sects, Xiang Jun had always been high and mighty. No one had ever disobeyed his orders. Gaochen's words seemed inappropriate to be used to recruit subordinates. However, in Dongyang's opinion, as someone who was going to compete for the position of Palace Lord of the Purple Cloud Palace in the future, he must have such an imposing manner. Even if he had a favor to ask of others, he must not be submissive to avoid ruining his character. After all, the future palace lord of a supreme sect would not be weaker than anyone in the world. Gaochen is right. Dongyang, this is indeed your opportunity. You must seize it. The other Transcendent Realm experts who had long since joined Gaochen's side echoed. Since they were there, they naturally belonged to the faction that supported Gaochen. Sing Hui sneered in his heart as he looked at the few of them who were acting as if they thought highly of him by offering him an olive branch. They were all high-ranking members of the Purple Cloud Palace, but when it came to dealing with people, these elders of Tianzhu Mountain were far inferior to Palace Lord Xianghong. Just because he said that he would give him 2 celestial techniques and take care of him in the future, he wanted to take away his opportunity to comprehend the creation's sacred jade. Had these elders been cultivating at Tianzhu Mountain for so long that their brains had decayed? Did they really think that he was a greenhorn who wanted to gain something without risking anything? Moreover, he would never give up the opportunity to comprehend the creation's sacred jade to anyone. I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint Elder Xiang Jun and Brother Gaochen. I also want to use the creation's sacred jade to comprehend the supreme celestial techniques. Sing Hui said lightly. Huh. His words made Xiang Jun's face change color. Gaochen, on the other hand, was taken aback. He could not believe that Sing Hui dared to reject his and Elder Xiang Jun's request. A while later, Gaochen's face immediately sank when he saw how calm Qing Su was, as if he really was unwilling to give up the chance to comprehend the fortune jade. What did you say? I didn't hear you clearly earlier. Say it again. Brother Gaochen, it seems like you're a little hard of hearing. Since you didn't hear me clearly, I'll say it again. I don't want to give up the opportunity to comprehend the creation's sacred jade. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.